You're watching Poindexter Lounge. You already know. You're watching Poindexter Lounge for the unity.
Hi, you're watching Poindexter Lounge. I'm choking on chicken.
And now I'll make the point better. This joint's clever. In the lounge with Poindexter. So Poindexter Lounge, you know that we can get it in. And now I'm headed up like I'm Led Zeppelin.
Why don't you set aside an hour or two? We'll have a few drinks and a cup of coffee I don't drink.
Yo. Hey, yo. Hey, yo. Hey, yo.
What's up, nerd family? Welcome once again to the Poindexter Lounge. My name is Enosh, aka Enosh Fett, and it is good to have you with me in the lounge tonight. Now, look, if this is your first time to the lounge, just know that the Poindexter Lounge is a place for nerds. It's a place where you and me and my crew can get together, all the masters of the universe, and talk about the things that we love. Things like TV shows, movies, games, sci-fi, fantasy, comic books, superheroes, toys, why it's important to watch the original series of a ongoing series when you're going to watch the sequel to that series before you complain about it and gripe and moan and don't know what you're talking about. And hey, if those are things that you enjoy, then please hit that subscribe button as well as that notification bell, because you have found the right place. This is the right place for you. This is the right place for nerds. This is the right place for us all to have a good conversation about these things that we love. And so I would love to have you be a part of this growing group of nerds. So please hit that subscribe button as well as that notification bell so that you know when we go live, when we put out new videos. We do all kinds of fun stuff here at the channel. Also, before we get started, as always, I want to say a special thank you to all of our members here at the channel. You guys are awesome. Thank you all for what you mean to us and for all that you do to support the channel. We're so grateful to each and every one of you. And of course, all of our patrons. You guys are fantastic as well. We couldn't do this without you guys. You guys mean the world to us. And of course, also everyone who gives super chats at any time during the week with our live shows. We're just very, very grateful to all of you. And we can't express that enough and just say thank you. One way that we try is to be able to give little things back here and there. We do private streams, actually. There are ways that you can get a private stream just with me, the family, or whatever, and talk one-on-one, but also we do streams for just the patrons and then another stream for just the members. So I'm hopefully going to do one of those tomorrow. So if you're a patron or a member, if you're a patron, look for an email. If you're a member, look for a community post here, and you will have access to that. Right now, up on the for both patrons and members is a video that we shot last week with our good friend H Bartz. It was his 21st birthday, and we went and saw him. And if you ever wondered what does H Bartz look like, then hey, go ahead and check out that video. And you can do that simply by being right now a patron or a member. And if you do that, if you give a super chat or if you're a patron or member, we are giving away this week this triple feature of Superman the movie, Superman 2, the Richard Donner cut, and of course Superman Returns, you know, the Warner Brothers trilogy, because you know how they do putting trilogies together, right? You know, they put trilogies together that, you know, are kind of different than what everybody considers to be the trilogy. I don't know. But hey, movies that I love, I hope you love them too. And you can win this Blu-ray pack simply by being that. We'll give that away later on this week. Now, tonight, it's going to be an interesting night. It's going to be fun. I promise you it's going to be fun. And I want to say up front, I do respect everyone's opinions. There is one thing. Look, you don't have to love Masters of the Universe. You don't have to. It helps if you do, but you don't have to. What I do say is this. There are a few things that I've heard about this show that are absolutely ignorant, that are absolutely out there, and they border on downright stupid. You can like stuff, you can not like stuff. You can argue about the the writing. You can argue about the acting. You can argue about the animation, whether you like it or not, whatever. But when you start talking story, it's very, very important that you know what the heck you're talking about. And there is a segment of fandom that won't stop with this narrative that everything is woke. They're literally finding wokeness under every rock, behind every door. And when you do that, you lose credibility. Because everything is not woke. Everything is not some SJW nightmare sweaty dream that you wake up to. Okay? And I'm sorry that people can't handle certain stories or certain genders being shown in a positive light. But it's really come out today that there is absolutely an agenda. There is absolutely an agenda. Because I just got done watching Masters of the Universe Revelation twice. I'm going to warn you, if you have not seen Masters of the Universe Revelation and you're worried about spoilers, there's going to be spoilers. There will, yes, just like the movie says, there will be blood. There will be spoilers. Okay? There will be a lot of spoilers. And I'm going to give you my interpretation of what is going to happen next, because it only makes sense. Because I think I'm pretty much understand what Kevin Smith was doing with this series. And the only people who I see griping and complaining are people who just don't understand it. They claim to have watched the original when they were kids. But you know what it was? They liked seeing the good guy beat up the bad guy and win at the end of every episode. This is not an ongoing show. This is not like the reboot of the early 2000s where it was going to be an ongoing show that you could hope to get season after season after season after season. This is a limited series. It's going to be in a couple of parts, and it's telling a specific story. Now, I've said it many times, and I will continue to say it. We as a society, it seems, as nerds and as fans, have gotten away from wanting to be told a story. We want to tell the story. We want to dictate the story. We want to tell the producers and the directors and the writers what the story is, even before we know it. This show has literally been attacked for months now before it ever came out. Oh, there's site after site after site, YouTube channel after YouTube channel after YouTube channel, claiming to know what was going to happen, claiming to know. And today, there's many of them claiming victory and knowledge somehow. But I will tell you this. If you think that this show is just all about Teela, doesn't reflect the He-Man that you love, and that it somehow makes He-Man less important or less of a character or less noble, and this somehow diminishes from what you love about He-Man, that's great. I don't. And I'm going to tell you why. First of all, I want to say hi to everyone in the chat. I do have a great cast of characters who are on tonight, and we are definitely going to jump in this with everybody. But yes, Layla, angry fanboys. Angry fanboys. I watched this show today, and it makes me sick. Some of the things that I've seen people say about this show. I'm going to tell you right off the bat, because I'm going to give other people a chance to give their opinions about this show, but I'm going to give you mine. I'm going to straight up tell you what this is about. Okay? Because some of you missed it. There are many times in this show, in this series, this 5-episode series, where Man-at-Arms will walk into a room and the sorceress is there and they share a look. Why is that? Why do they share a look? Because in the original series, it was established Teela is the sorceress's daughter. Man-at-Arms raised her. Teela doesn't know she's the sorceress's daughter. That's why when they keep trying to tell her something, when Duncan tries, I saw people complaining, she was called Man-at-Arms. She's a woman. She can't be Man-at-Arms. Teela can't be Man-at-Arms. She's a woman. It's woke. They're trying to replace the men and demasculate all the man. Oh my gosh. They called her Man-at-Arms. Idiots don't know what the term is. Man-at-Arms wasn't his name. It was his position. His name was Duncan. Always established that his name was Duncan. Teela, his daughter, was trained, they meticulously went over this in the old series, that she was training to one day take over her father's role in the kingdom. This is a sequel. This is not to pick up where your friends left off so you can see another series that follows the same mold about how every episode He-Man would just, Adam would just turn into He-Man and beat Skeletor just like always, and everything would be so great by the end, and they'd protect Castle Grayskull and everybody go home and nobody got hurt and everything was okay and everybody was fine, right? Because that's what we all grew up with, right? And even the series in the 2000s, even though it followed a narrative through, like, hey, they fought stuff, they won, right? And it was what it was. This is a limited run series that is telling one character story arc over a period. And I saw people, for something called He-Man, there wasn't much He-Man in it. Did you look at the title of this show? What is the title of this show? Is it He-Man and the Masters of the Universe? Like the old show was? Or is it, Masters of the Universe Revelation? Yep. Well, I expected more He-Man in it. He-Man is all throughout this thing. If you think that this is not a He-Man story, you're a moron and you're too thick. This is absolutely a He-Man story. Through and through. The man literally sacrifices himself to save the entire universe. Does the most noble thing that he can possibly do. Takes it upon himself when he realizes that all of the universe is going to be destroyed. He takes it upon himself to save it, risking all. Through flashbacks, they show the connection between Teela and He-Man. She at no point tries to be He-Man in this show. She at no point tries to take over He-Man's role. This is not some woke feminist agenda garbage. She at no point tries to do that. Oh, well, they tried to use the dreaded L word, didn't they? Teela's gonna be a lesbian. Did you see that haircut? Really? So now a haircut determines one's sexuality. And she's just a lesbian. Oh, okay. You should be absolutely ashamed of yourselves. Ashamed of yourself. You are not all these penis carriers, because they're not men. And I'm going to share a story with you. I'm going to bring RJ in here in a minute, and we're going to go over something that happened today, an exchange that I had. I won't reveal the names to protect the innocent. But people telling me that masculine women, by the way, if you're watching this and you're a masculine woman or you're not an overtly feminine woman, if you don't have feminine features, by the way, this person doesn't understand that women come in many shapes, sizes. Women come in very muscular, with masculine features, just all on their own because they're born that way. And yes, some are born with traditionally feminine features. There are some men who are born with very masculine features and what society calls manly features. And then there's men who are born with more feminine features, right? Who don't exude. Apparently, if you don't exude this, that I'm a man, you're not a man. You know how dumb that is? Sexual orientation aside, all of that junk aside, I'm so sick of people trying to define a man by being an arrogant SOB. That's a man. Not caring about people around you. That's a man. Having to be the center of attention. That's a man. That's garbage, is what that is. I literally got into a discussion this week because I saw a video where a young woman who was overweight as far as what society considers overweight, but is very confident in herself and has struggled against society telling her what she could be to now she's a plus size model, a legitimate plus size model. She was very happy and she was sharing that. And these guys were on this video leaving comments about how, she's unhealthy. She's unhealthy. She shouldn't be proud of herself. She's overweight. Sorry to burst your bubble, guys, but most of the world is. This you have to conform to this one body style or else. You know, I've got this action figure here, Teela from back in the day. She's pretty muscular. And Teela was fine in this show. She wasn't some horribly freakish looking thing like people are making her out to be. And the other thing is that they literally establish in the show that one of her issues is the fact that she's pining after He-Man. And she's confused. She's upset because not only did she lose somebody, but she finds out that everybody in her life is lying to her and has been lying to her. That's a lot to take in for anyone. And even King Randor, who doesn't know that his own son has been sitting right there under his nose the whole time as He-Man, that he's been proud of. He's literally been putting down his son this entire time, which is something from the original series, by the way. He's been putting down his own son to praise He-Man, and he realizes it, and he takes out his anger on everybody and literally banishes everybody from the kingdom who was part of it. He-Man is in and throughout. The spirit of He-Man is in and throughout this entire thing because the whole point is his lack of presence is felt. It's palpable because they lost something special in He-Man. Teela doesn't try to be He-Man. She doesn't try to take up his mantle and become He-Man. And she's drawn back into a fight. Then, people sacrifice themselves along the way. I heard somebody literally freaking complained about Moss Man dying. Moss Man! Look, I love all the characters. That's great. They established by killing Moss Man right off the bat with Skeletor, guess what? This world's a little different than the one you remember. This world's going to be a little crazy. There are going to be consequences. There are going to be things you're going to see, and not only the good guys, because yes, some good guys died. Orko, my God, I just about cried. Orko sacrificing himself, overcoming his fear to sacrifice himself for his friends was absolutely amazing. Ryan here with a $5 super chat says, people need to realize that not all tomboys are lesbians and a simple haircut doesn't determine your sexuality at all. Thank you. It does not. Our heroes that surround He-Man, what I love about, if you don't get this show, let me tell you why. It's because, you see, this is the story of what happens if your heroes fall. What happens to He-Man's world, to the world of Eternia, if He-Man dies? And He-Man is very capable of dying. They also establish, and we anybody who knows the lore knows that he's one of many champions that have come before him. Many champions. What happens when the hero falls? The other heroes come together. And at first they're spread out, and this is their story of coming back together, of regaining what they lost. He-Man's presence is felt by his lack of presence. And then when they see Prince Adam over on the other side, and that part of this show where, I love it, Grayskull says to Teela, he could be whatever he wants to be here. Nobody has chosen their weaker form. But he has. You know why? It's the same thing I've been saying about Superman for the longest time. Because Clark is the real person. Superman is the image. He-Man was the image. Adam is the real person. It shows how grounded He-Man is. It shows how real He-Man is, and true to himself, and true to the love that he has for his friends. And then literally he already sacrificed his life to go and save everyone. Now he's willing to sacrifice his eternity, his eternal reward, to go back if there's a chance that he can help and save again. But you want to tell me that they did He-Man wrong? Sit down. Go watch the original series, because you're wrong. Leave, at the risk of sounding cheesy, leave Kevin Smith alone. Kevin Smith understands this mythology more than these stupid fanboys out here who are complaining because He-Man wasn't beating everybody up. Why couldn't they have had He-Man there learning right alongside her? Because the impact wouldn't be there if He-Man's right there doing the same stuff, because you don't miss him. Also, from the standpoint of just being a fan of He-Man, can I point out the fact that this show was filled with so much lore when it comes to He-Man, so much mythology when it comes to Masters of the Universe, from not just the original TV show, but from the mini comics? My God. And if you say mini comics, then you need to shut up. And you don't have a voice in the argument about He-Man. If you don't understand that there were mini comics and the lore that was in those mini comics. The idea of the sword splitting in two. The characters that they brought back. They did justice by every side character. Mossman died in a heroic way. Orko died in a heroic way. Anthony Grigsby with an Australian $7.99 super chat. Thank you, sir. Says, so many people jump on the bandwagon of hating everything and ruining it for everyone. Revelation is awesome and the writing and animation are brilliant. Absolutely agree. And I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to tell you what this is all about. Why is it called Revelation? She doesn't know she's the sorceress's daughter. It ends on a cliffhanger. Like I said, I warned you about spoilers already, so I don't. If you're mad at me, that's your fault at this point. He comes back. Skeletor comes back. Had this plan. Runs something through Prince Adam. Now we don't know that he's dead. They didn't show him die again. But it was like, he killed him a second time. Oh my God! Kevin Smith's killing my childhood. He killed him. Oh my God! I don't know what I'm gonna do with my life. Didn't just kill him once, he killed him twice! Yep, sure did. He wounded him, at least. Notice all the glances between the sorceress. When the sorceress calls them all back at the beginning of the episode, of the first episode, and says, and Teela says, why did you call us all here then? And she says, what does she say? I wanted to see you one more time. They keep trying to tell Teela, and every time something either interrupts it or Teela says, I don't want to hear it, because she's so caught in her hurt and her anger. But I'll tell you what's going to happen. I almost can guarantee you what's going to happen. Some variant or form of this. Skeletor now has the power. He has the power. He has accomplished what we've feared this entire time. By the way, can I just talk about like the different characters that they threw in there? I mean, Scareglow's in there. There's so many callbacks. There's the Shadow Monster. There's so many just background characters that they put into this thing, man. That fans of He-Man should just be absolutely enjoying this. I mean, just eating this up, just begging for more, Kevin. At the end, Skeletor has the power finally. He is there. He has accomplished finally what he's always wanted to accomplish. The sorceress will probably end up sacrificing herself in some way to either bring He-Man back from the dead again if he dies, because they made a big point of the fact that if he dies, he doesn't get to go into the eternity, or to heal him. And Teela will take her rightful place as sorceress. It will be revealed. There will be a revelation. Stop your whining. Oh, but I've heard it. I've heard the other excuse too. The other argument. Well, it's really because Kevin Smith lied to us. He told us it was about He-Man and that it wasn't just Teela's story. It's not just Teela's story. This is literally freaking Masters of the Universe, and He-Man is felt palpably. It is He-Man's story. It is the story of his death. It is the story of him sacrificing all for everyone and the void that leaves because of He-Man. And then in addition to that, it's the story of him coming back from the dead, sacrificing his eternity because he's freaking He-Man. Sacrificing his ability to enjoy his eternity as one of the great heroes of Eternia. To be assaulted, he brings back the castle. Notice Teela doesn't go in there with the sword and call down the power. Nobody says, oh, well, you know what, Teela, you can just go in there and call down the power with the sword as long as you have the sword, right? They could have done that. If they were trying to make some woke thing, they could have just given her the sword. Yes, Layla, that's exactly what I'm saying. In the original cartoon, there's a whole episode that is dedicated to the fact that Teela does not know who her real mother is. And it tells the story of how the sorceress had Teela. And Man-at-Arms Duncan raised her as his own. And she talks about how one day she'll be sorceress. Yep, it's right there. So what are they griping about? But it was supposed to be He-Man's story, and there's not enough. There's not enough He-Man in it. It's not He-Man's story, though. I wanted to see He-Man. You don't like stories. You don't want stories. You don't want somebody to write something interesting. You're afraid of change. And there's not even really a lot of change in this. It's simply one story. One story. And you're just pissed off because you got it left on a cliffhanger and you don't know what's going to happen. And Kevin Smith lied to us. No, Kevin Smith told you. This is not just Teela's story. This is not some woke story about Teela. This is not some woke story about Teela and the adventures of Teela and how Teela takes over and Teela puts down He-Man, and we don't need He-Man, right? See, because that stuff happens. And here's what ticks me off. Is you see, there is legitimately that garbage going on in the world and in the world of entertainment. Look at the show Supergirl, for God's sake. They absolutely, totally tried to lay Superman to waste to elevate Supergirl over the course of that show. Literally. Making her more, I mean, in the comics, she is stronger than Superman, but Superman has the experience and the knowledge here on Earth, and he is the one training her. He comes here, she's like, oh, you're the protector of Earth now. The world doesn't need Superman as long as they've got Supergirl. That's garbage. That's that stuff. But when you say it about stuff before you've seen it and before you know what it is, and then when it's not that, you lessen the voice people have to actually be able to call out the real stuff. And then you're going to sit there and you're going to go after the man's show by going after it on Rotten Tomatoes and bombing it on Rotten Tomatoes like cowards, like absolute cowards. I guess Kevin Smith should have really just traced old He-Man shows, huh? He should have just traced them, because that's all you want. You gripe and complain about other stuff being traced, but that's all you really want, right, fanboys? You don't want anything new. You don't want anything different. You don't want a compelling story that keeps you on the edge of your seat because you don't know what's going to happen. You want to know what's happening because you're smart. You right there. Yeah, you watching me are pissed off at me right now. And you're like, oh, this Enosh guy, he doesn't know what he's talking about. He's a jerk. He's a this and that. And I don't even use the language that some of you are going to use against me. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I know. I know what you're thinking about me. Yeah, this Enosh guy, boy, he just doesn't understand. He doesn't know. I've surrounded myself with this stuff my entire life. I was there when He-Man was happening. Not like some of these guys who literally showed up a few years ago and all of a sudden they're fans of stuff. And look, I don't begrudge anybody who's young and gets into the stuff that I grew up with, but I was there. I was there. I lived it. And I continued to live it. I continue to watch it. That's why I know the content. Oh, I watched it when I was a kid. Good for you. How much else did you forget since you were 8 years old? What else? What else have you forgotten since you were 7? Because I'm going to give you a nice heaping spoonful of truth. Can I do that today? Stop hating everything. You don't have to love everything, but stop making it about something that it's not. Go ahead, have your nice big bowl of Masters of the Universe Revelation cereal and eat it down good. It's not going away. And it's only going to prove itself to be a compelling, amazing story. Because that's what it is. You make yourself look like fools when you literally just complain about something to complain about it. Because that's all it is. Oh, see, you can't complain about Star Wars much anymore, can you? No, you can't. Because people love Star Wars. So the more you hate on Star Wars, you go, well, remember The Last Jedi, how much we hated it? Yeah, The Last Jedi was pretty old now. Like, even people who hate The Last Jedi, like, they're even like, well, yeah, I didn't like it, but, like, you can't base everything off on it because, Mandalorian's pretty good. People are really liking stuff coming out of Star Wars right now. People really like the Bad Batch. Oh, but I know when they had a couple of women even on Star Wars, the Clone Wars, season 7, that had like a different kind of haircut that was a little shaved on the side. Oh my God! Oh my God, they're killing it! Oh my God! Oh my God, the space people have short haircuts on one side! Ah! I'm melting! The space people! They have a different haircut than what I think is feminine. I love men trying to tell women what's feminine. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Hey, RJ, I'm going to ask you, are you ready, sir, in the back? Because I'd like to bring you in and let's have a conversation, RJ. And then once we have this conversation, we read this conversation, I'm gonna bring everybody else in. So what's up, RJ?
Oh, the haters, they suck. Kevin Smith lied to us, man.
I know he did. But you know what? We're my buddy RJ and I here are going to recreate a conversation that I had today. I'm going to change the name of the so-called innocent because I don't want to out anybody. But this was a conversation I had today, and this is where I'm at. Okay, are you ready? So I posted today on Twitter. Do the haters even know the relevance of Teela's character in Masters of the Universe? Who her mother is? Duncan tries to bring it up, and it's a great callback to the original series. That's where this is going.
No, the haters were lied to by Kevin Smith. He said He-Man would not step aside for Teela, which is exactly what happened. Plus making her a detestable coot when she did her bratty fit as Randor and Marlena were mourning the death of their son was piss poor writing.
Yeah. Did you catch that? This person literally called her a detestable C word.
Yeah.
Yes. But he spelled it with a K, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And called her a bratty fit. Said that she made a bratty fit. I wonder what these fanboys are doing right now. Kind of sounds like a bratty fit, doesn't it? Yeah, kind of. And they kind of act like that too. So we'll continue this conversation. My answer, that is absolutely not what happened at all. He-Man did not step aside for anyone. It's telling an overall story with a story where there are highs and there are lows and there's ebbs and flows. You sound exactly like what you called her. Both her and Randor responded to being lied to by everyone else.
No, he absolutely did step aside. Even confirmed by show sites like IGN. Kevin knew this, which is why all the trailers focused more on He-Man and less on Teela. Yet 80% of the show was Teela. That is an objective fact, sir.
Did you even watch the show? Because none of that even happened.
It absolutely did happen. Aside from episode 1, a quick flashback in episode 3, and a tease in episode 5, there is hardly any He-Man. It's all Teela.
You're just watching Teela then, apparently, because there's literally a cast of characters that are building the story and the narrative. Smith is literally building on the many episodes of the original. It's going to flesh out the He-Man story and make him stronger than ever, while putting Teela in her
A race-swapped Andra whose action figure no one will buy? A cloaked Roboto who dies? Orko who dies? Mossman who gets a few seconds of screen time before being brutally murdered? Where's Manny Faces? Where's Ram-Man? Stratos! Again, it's all about Teela.
Oh, the humanity! Where's Manny Faces? Oh, my kingdom for an appearance of Manny Faces in the first 5 episodes of this 20-minute per episode series. Oh, where is Stratos? Oh, Ram Man, for God's sake. The beloved Ram Man, never seen in this hour of programming for all that is good and holy. Orko dies. Moss Man, who gets a few seconds and he's brutally murdered.
It's woke.
LOL. So in a 20-minute episode limited series, you want them to introduce every character in the Masters of the Universe story. I mean, they showed a great picture of them. I'll be honest with you. I mean, it was directly lifted from the toys, by the way. They looked like pictures of the toys. It was fantastic. Showing literally, like they showed Buzzsaw. They showed like Fisto was in there, for God's sake. Fisto made an appearance. Some of you need a good fist right now. But yeah, I mean, so I said, you want them to introduce every character in the Masters of the Universe story, just like within just that hour of programming, and for all of them to be the main focus, right? And everybody survives, everybody lives. Well, why do you have such a problem with the captain of the Royal Guard being a main focus in this? Oh, that's right. She's a woman.
No, I wanted Kevin Smith not to lie and say this was about He-Man, when instead it's about masculine Teela. And be careful with that left-wing propaganda, sir, about me having a problem with a woman. I'm a huge Sierra fan, and I love that Wonder Woman film, so you'll lose that straw man argument.
Oh, well, coming from someone like me, who is a conservative, and anything but left-wing, I see your defense of liking She-Ra and Wonder Woman to be pretty thin. Isn't that what people do? Well, I'm not against women. I like Wonder Woman. I like She-Ra. I'm sure that this guy doesn't like the She-Ra Netflix series.
It's woke.
I'd more than
to the left-wing idiots. It's propaganda.
I'd put money on that one right there. And I wouldn't argue with it because I'm not a big fan of the show either. So there you go. So if you call me a shill, I already saw one of you in the chat. You're a shill. I love it. You guys all have the same stupid argument. You're a shill. You've been bought and paid for by Disney. Oh, wait, this isn't Disney. You've been bought and paid for by Netflix. You're just a shill. Yeah, we're just shills. Like I didn't like She-Ra at all. You can find our trailer reaction right here on the channel for She-Ra.
You lie, sir.
I know you can find it right here. We were all
Netflix.
excited. We were all excited for it. Thought it looked cool. Tried to watch a couple episodes, and I was like, "This is boring. This is really awful." So I'm glad that you like Teela, Mr. Right-wing propagandist. But I do not. So that's kind of a weird twist, I guess. I said I like your defense of liking She-Ra and Wonder Woman I find it to be pretty thin. Masculine Teela? She's a freaking warrior. I'm sorry you didn't get what you wanted. The funny thing is, it's not about you.
She-Ra's a warrior. Guess what? She looks feminine. I celebrate femininity, not its masculine replacement. So yeah, you're coming off like a leftist shill, especially when you attempt to say I had a problem with a female lead.
I want you to remember that statement. I want to just make that really clear. She-Ra's a warrior. But she looks feminine. So that's okay. She looks feminine. She's a woman who looks feminine.
Sir, I'll have you know I need to get off on feminine ladies, okay?
Oh, okay. And I see that you say you celebrate femininity, which is fine. I have a wife that's very feminine. She also has all the tools in our family. Like she literally builds stuff, man. She built a subfloor for our jacuzzi. She built her own workbench out here. She was in a seed program for Ryobi, where Ryobi said it's
woke.
She is very woke. I swear to God. I mean, she actually trained and got her minister's license right along with me. Like we worked together. I know, like I don't lord over her. But yes, she's very feminine and looks very feminine. She's a girly girl. She likes to wear makeup. She likes girl stuff. I think she's hot.
Stop watching shows like this.
Yes,
it's corrupting feminine women across the world.
Yeah, he says here, I celebrate femininity, not its masculine replacement. So yeah, you're coming off. So apparently I'm coming off like a leftist shill. So this is what I had to say. I said, so let me get this straight. You only like the feminine looking pretty warrior women. Sorry to tell you, buddy, but both women and men come in all shapes, sizes, and forms. Teela doesn't come across as anything but a soldier here, and feminine at the same time. In the story, she's pissed off.
Let me get this straight. A strong woman is only strong when she looks like a man?
A woman is only strong when she looks like a man. First of all, I saw this cartoon. This is not my reply, but I saw this cartoon. Teela at no point looks like a man. Like, really?
No, she does. She does. She's buff. She has muscles.
Yeah, she
Her
does.
Muscles intimidate me.
Probably, but I mean, like, I'm actually thinking about trying to end this a little early because I was kind of, I don't know, maybe this is too much information, kind of a weird thing, but I was a little kind of turned on by it. And Tiffany says she's even thinking about going as Teela to Comic-Con now. So,
what have you done to your wife? You left a shill. How dare you?
I know. I might just have to put Brian in charge of this when I get in here and just kind of disappear for a little while. I don't know. I never said that. I never said I had a problem with She-Ra or Wonder Woman. You're the one trying to make a defense that some women are apparently okay and some aren't.
No, my problem was that Kevin Smith lied about the focus of the show, and you attempted to smear my argument by borrowing that leftist straw man that had an issue with a woman being the focus, which is 110% false.
That's very interesting. I just wanted to go back and make sure I wasn't looking at my main screen here, so I just wanted to make sure. All right. No, you're the one who said that a woman can't be masculine, and that you didn't want to hear those stories. Not your main complaint wasn't just about Kevin Smith, that Kevin Smith lied about the focus of the show, but you said that you don't want a woman to be masculine, and you didn't want to hear those stories.
No, it's everything. I'm saying everything.
Hmm. Oh, okay. Oops. Then actually, hold on. At some point, somebody chimed in, by the way, and says, "I commend you for your patience with this one." LOL. Let's see. Oh, do you have the next part there?
I believe. Oh, excuse me. Oh, excuse me. Yes, I do. Again, Kevin Smith lied about who their focus of the show was. There's nothing more to it, friend. The audience score on Rotten Tomatoes doesn't lie.
Well, yeah, it does lie. See, when idiots try to get together and review bomb something and they don't understand the source material and they don't care about it because it wasn't the show they wanted, it absolutely lies. And who uses Rotten Tomatoes to validate anything?
Rotten Tomatoes is a corrupt website. They gave Captain Marvel good reviews, but it was all fake. But this time it's legit because it corroborates with what I believe.
Okay. Sure. Do you have the next like onslaught there?
Oh, excuse me.
Because in there, yeah, the nobody. You got that one?
Oh, jeez. Excuse me. I'm breaking kayfabe here. Apologies.
Okay, yeah, no problem. We'll get through this.
Where is it? I mean, this is like so many replies. It's like
I know, right? It's great though. It's great because it gets to an ending that I loved. I love the ending of this.
Jeez. There's one that says in the room.
Oh yeah. Hold on a second. So it goes nobody. That's the next one where he goes nobody. You've been pretty defensive. You see that one? Oh, because I did another one. Well, hold on. Oh, wait a second. Oh, hold on. They got messed up here. Hold on. Oh yeah. Okay, so hold on a second.
There's so many from this dude. I can't.
I know, right? Like
voice.
this guy crazy. It's okay. Hold on a second. Okay,
so idiotic. He broke into 3 different threads.
I know. So I know it just got crazy. Okay, so she's a warrior, right? Guess what? She okay, yeah, here it is. Here he goes. I said, well, coming from someone who's okay. And then he put She-Ra's a warrior. Guess what? She looks feminine. I celebrate femininity, rightfully so. Because I put she's a female lead, and then I put, okay, buddy. Maybe you should read those comments in order because I put she was pissed off and rightfully so. And then he came back with wrongfully so because it was a weak straw man from you. I put, okay, buddy, maybe you should just read those comments in order. I said that Teela is pissed off and rightfully so, and you can't even get that right.
I did read it right, buddy. Perhaps you should proofread or add context if you're going to write these short tweets are so vague, you jerk.
Well, coming from someone like me who's hold on a second. Oh yeah, because he posted the picture. That's what it is. That's what messed me up because he posted a picture of our actual tweets, and I didn't write a short tweet that was vague. I literally finished the tweet that was before it. You're pretty dense, my friend.
No, buddy, you've been pretty defensive because God forbid anyone disagrees with your opinion of the show, lest they be labeled as haters and against female leads. Sorry if your straw man has no validity.
I said, well, apparently you're the one that couldn't take someone having a differing opinion. I didn't find your Twitter account and try to tell you how you were wrong. You came to mine, knowing that I don't agree with your point of view. So who has the problem with someone disagreeing with them? And then I put Anchorman saying, we are laughing. I put, LOL, your order is mixed up. Try refreshing. LOL.
I don't have a good browser, sir. You're being judgmental.
Anyways, look, the point point of all of this, right? Oh yeah. See, was there any more? I think that's.
Oh, there's plenty more. We want to go through it all.
Oh yeah. I'm trying to find where the next part is here.
There's one that goes, the haters were lied to by Kevin Smith, and then it goes.
Oh yeah. The haters, yeah. Somebody, yeah. Okay.
The haters were lied to by Kevin Smith when he said He-Man would not step aside for Teela, which is exactly what happened. Plus making her... Oh, no, we already went
we read that one. Yeah, we read that one. That was just somebody liking that one, apparently. Okay.
Okay.
Good for that person.
Yeah, he said just because it's not the story you wanted to see, that was the one.
Left-wing propaganda. Then somebody actually was smart and said, shouldn't the complaint that she doesn't know Adam's secret be more aimed at the OG show or the reboot than this show, since they could have answered it then as well? But see, here's the thing. They did. They talked about it. Like, they talked about the fact that she doesn't know the secret, but like, I'm sorry that like they didn't get into all that during the thing, because
no, the 80s show's perfect. It has no flaws.
That was one of the reasons why Kevin Smith wanted to tell this story, was because that was something that was never dealt with back then, because she didn't know.
He got money from Netflix. He got corporatized and became a shill.
Okay, I found the next part. It's then Smith shouldn't have advertised it as the story I wanted.
Then Smith shouldn't have advertised it as the story I wanted. I wanted to see He-Man. He should have been advertised as Teela being the main focus. He lied when Clownfish TV proved he was making He-Man second to Teela. Clownfish TV was right all along. IGN, Grace Randolph, they told me all of this was true. It's an objective fact, sir.
But He-Man is in no way second to Teela in the story. He-Man and his absence are very much felt in the universe, and it shows that she can't be that. Like, if anything, you guys should be cheering at the fact because they didn't try to replace the man with the woman. For God's sake, like, it shows that she's not trying to replace He-Man. It says, and then I put she can't be that because he's He-Man. She's not He-Man. He's He-Man. She could have lifted the sword when she got it and called down the power of Grayskull. I mean, for God's sake, Skeletor did. And Skeletor wasn't some chosen one. It's whoever holds aloft the sword has the power. Teela could have told Adam, you know what? You go ahead and stay in heaven. You go ahead and stay there. I'm going to go back and I'm going to be the new He-Woman. Or her man. Whatever you want to call her, I don't know.
Don't you understand? Kevin Smith sells you bullshit.
I know. But I said it just shows that she can't be that because he's He-Man. I put LOL. Your references, geez. I mean, really, you're gonna sit there and like throw up Clownfish TV, IGN, and Grace Randolph as because they said it. It's objective.
Yeah,
fact.
didn't you see Grace's spoiler review? She called out the queer baiting between the Teela and the lady. I don't care whose name it's because I didn't actually watch the show before complaining about it. Andra, thank you. They were queer baiting, didn't you see?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's actually a new complaint, by the way. There's queer baiting because Teela should have been gay because it's obvious that they were glancing at each other, even though the whole show was probably about Teela and Prince Adam. But, ignore that.
I love the fact that anytime people of the same sex look at each other or show that they love each other in any way, that's got to be gay now. Well, the haircut gives it away. Let's be honest, right? Right? There's the next part where it says He-Man steps aside for Teela there.
Yes, let me look.
He-Man steps aside for Teela, proven by screen time. It's 80% Teela. That's not an opinion. That's a fact.
I very much like stating objective facts.
Yes. Who? A race-swapped Andra whose action figure no one will buy? A cloaked Roboto who dies? Oh God, Roboto. I mean, for God's sake, that got me right here in the feels where like at the end, he's just like talking about how like he feels fear. So he knows that he's something special because he never felt anything before. My God, a cloaked Roboto who dies because Roboto didn't take off his cloak at the end. Right. Because I love this idea that people can't change their clothes at all in these shows. Orko who dies, Moss Man who gets a few seconds of screen time before being brutally murdered. It goes back into the Ram Man Stratos stuff. And then I told him that he's watching too much of this stuff from memory. This is memory. The original show is still on YouTube. Yeah, that one.
Memory of the original show still on YouTube. All you have to do is watch Teela's quest to show how deviated Smith's imposter version is from Filmation's version. I'm sorry if your opinion can't handle Beachons with quantifiable facts. He keeps saying facts. Everything I say is a fact. This is amazing.
I don't think people know what facts are, RJ. I just don't feel that people know.
Listen, I didn't get all my opinions from these YouTubers I watch, okay? These are all 100% my own thoughts, and I didn't copy from anyone else.
Are they?
I don't think so, no.
Are they, though?
Oh, man.
I mean, are they? Because you know what? I'll be honest with you. It sounds a lot like the same stuff that a lot of other people are just saying just to say.
It's almost like people just become echo chambers for other YouTubers because, you know, they just make the same talking points to get their audience to talk about them 24/7.
Yep. So
my poor voice, by the way. Oh my goodness.
Oh, I know. So look, that's that. Oh, well, I gotta tell you the last one.
Okay.
So the last one was he put up a meme of Skeletor, and it says, so Teela having 80% of the screen time doesn't prove He-Man was sidelined, despite IGN and Grace Randolph, among others, confirming his facts. So he brings those up again. And then the picture says, and remember, this is the meme, right? It's got Skeletor with his hands on like this.
Quit buying nudes when you can look in the mirror and see a pussy for free until we meet again.
To which I said a couple of things. First I said they don't have valid points. Neither do you. They are haters. You're pathetic. And you're the one who came onto my post thinking anything you said would change the fact you're wrong. To which I put Will Smith saying, that's some funny crap right there. Right. And then I finished it off by simply saying this. When he told me to look in a mirror to see a pussy for free, I said, I don't need nudes. I have a wife, a real woman. You should try it. Might be hard for you, given that they all look different and not just your fantasy. I'll base my opinions on the actual old show, toys, and comics. You base it on Grace Randolph and IGN.
And don't forget our good friends, Clownfish TV.
Oh, yeah. I forgot to put them in because I don't really even think about them. So there you go. Yep.
I love how the reply to that tweet, though, is someone saying no one believes you, that you have a wife. Like I mean, they literally
right here.
I know, but they're saying like no one believes that what you're saying is true, dude. You're making up lies. You know what we need? You don't have a real woman, obviously.
I could put that theory to a test later, but I'm pretty sure she'll be up there waiting for me. Yep. I'm pretty sure she'll be there. Jenner Custom Toys with the $5 super chat says, just a quick hello. I'm doing karaoke tonight. Can't watch. I wish I could, though. These singers are terrible. All right. That being said, I want to make sure, first of all, that I didn't miss.
Is my voice free? Am I free now?
Okay. I didn't miss anybody good. All right. So now we're back. All right. And now we are going to bring our cast of characters in, ladies and gentlemen, because this awakened a lot, and I'm one of them. A couple of them, especially because I know that they're in our chat earlier today. They were pretty steaming. One, of course, is Brian Master None. What's up, Brian?
Is he done? Is he done yet?
I hope I'm done. My voice hurts.
I could not take that anymore. I take my headset off. I'm like, dude, I just no.
Well, the idea was to do the most annoying voice.
Well, dude,
ever.
Okay, if you were going for Grace Randolph, you nailed it. Okay.
Yeah. Well, hey, that's that's who the guy listens to, right?
Okay.
Yes.
No, dude, this is giving me a major headache.
Was it my voice or was the arguments being said?
Well, a combination of the two, and I think what it did, it kind of just amplified my anger towards the situation.
Yes.
Which really pisses me off because that's like this whole thing.
Right.
It's all about how mad can you get on the internet?
I have a tweet
it's one up
later because they're using this tweet at Kevin Smith as a gotcha.
But in actuality, if you actually read what he says, nothing.
Oh, I'm going
he says
to.
is a
I'm
lie.
going to in a minute. I'm going to read his reply in a minute. But first of all, let's bring in somebody else who actually watched the original series and said the exact same thing that I had to say about it. And I totally agree with him. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Zod Writer.
Zod, what's up,
What's
Zod?
going on, Zod?
What's up, gentlemen?
Zod, I apologize if that voice hurt you.
Listen, guys, you guys, it's amazing to me how we can't just be fans of something and love something. We can't even give people credit when they do a good job.
No, we can't do that. Also, ladies and gentlemen, here, all the way back from the netherworld, the man who sacrificed himself for the good of everyone to make sure that everyone could get into the celestial heavenly place to find. No, Orko. What's up, Orko?
Hi, how are you?
How's it feel to be dead?
Well, first of all, I'd like to correct you. My real name is Oracle. My parents named me that because I don't walk.
This is true.
That was a Barbara Gordon joke. I don't think you got it.
Probably not, but you know what? That's okay, Orko. We don't get a lot that you do, right? So it's all good. We still love you. Also here tonight, the very wise and might not agree with everything about loving the show. I don't know. But at least is a calm and cool person who doesn't just relate everything to women's genitalia and understands that women come in different looks, and that is, of course, women or William.
Women's here.
Women's here.
All right, so the pallbearer voice I just listened to.
Paul Bear.
I was channeling Paul Bear plus Grace Randolph plus the most annoying nerd you probably get at your shop. So there you go.
I'm looking at Orko. I don't know what to make of the stream, and I started out with almost being done with episode 3, and I'm done. I went ahead and finished watching the rest of the show while you guys were going through that thing.
And then here to provide the other side of this argument is the entire embodiment of the fandom menace. Fandom menace lovers.
Did someone say woke?
He's here complete, ladies and gentlemen, with his Geeks and Gamers shirt and his Star Wars hat. Now, why are you wearing a Star Wars hat? You don't like Star Wars.
Maybe not, but I call all the wokeness when I can.
Now, Zod, I'm going to start with you, buddy, because you came in hot and heavy like I did today after watching this and then like literally watching these people melt. I do want to first I gotta show what Kevin Smith said, because Kevin had the absolute best retort to all this nonsense. And I'm going to bring up his tweet because people have been coming at him just really hard on this whole thing today. Let me get him up here. And I personally look with the lore that I saw, the history, the stuff that I saw come out today. This man knows his Masters of the Universe. That's all I got to say about that. But here's what he said to all of the bombing of his Masters of the Universe today. You guys see that? Is that up there? Yeah.
Yes, I do.
Okay, good. It says, Kevin answered and says, "This is actually kind of flattering. Both The Boys TV, which The Boys is absolute fire. I love The Boys. In fact, you know what? I just realized, because he referenced The Boys, it's right here. I'm going to follow The Boys. And Captain Marvel, which I'm not a fan of the movie, but it was not the woke disaster that people were acting like it was. It's just a boring movie. I don't have a problem with it on any other level than it's just that. Yeah. But he says both The Boys and Captain Marvel went through this too. So I'm in good company. The review bombing is transparent, so luckily it's not gonna trip us up. Basically, F you haters. But do you know what can trip us up? My untied Puma Skeletor sneakers from Foot Locker.
Nice.
Yep. Use it as a marketing opportunity.
Yeah, I wonder if those come in size 15.
I save so much money on shoes, I don't buy them.
Tiffany's up there. I want those shoes. That's my wife, by the way, looking very feminine in that avatar, I might add. But will kick your butt and can swing a mighty hammer. better than Thor because she's worthy.
I was going to
yeah.
mention real quick, so I put up the Rotten Tomatoes page. Right now it's sitting at a 24% audience rating. The first audience review says this: the only good thing about this show was the first trailer, I Need a Hero. Kevin Smith did He-Man dirty the same way Rian Johnson and Kathleen Kennedy did to Luke in Star Wars. Don't waste your time with this. You're better off watching the 2002. Literally all the audience reviews mention The Last Jedi. Like, this is The Last Jedi of cartoons. Even I saw Phantom Menace people compare
because the steam is run out of the Last Jedi sales, and this is the only thing left to bitch about. I'm sorry. I'm so tired of this crap. Like, is anyone else as tired of this as me? It's like, do you remember when we can actually?
Orko's so tired he's taking off his hat.
Do you remember when we can actually?
I'm overheating. I don't have access to my mouth on
It's
this.
probably
thing.
hot as hell.
It's coming off.
But no, does
that
anybody remember a time where we can actually enjoy things?
I know, remember?
I mean, I swear it seems like a simpler time, but this is horse crap, man. I'm
Do
sick and tired.
the people complaining about this actually watch Masters of the Universe? Did they actually?
No, Todd.
Have they ever read
No.
the comics? Do they know anything about Masters of the Universe? Because, quite frankly, it's like, if you know anything about the lore, you should be elated by this show.
Zod, didn't you hear the tweets? It's on YouTube. The episodes are still on YouTube, so they can still watch them out of order and not know anything about the lore, about anything, because all they cared about, these are the kids that sat there at home. They got home after school, right? They didn't care about the intricacies of like these characters that they were watching because their little brains couldn't process it, even though I was 7 and 8 years old and I actually like paid attention to like the things, the character development of these characters. And they, you know what all they cared about, Zod? This is what they cared about. Skeletor did stuff and it was bad. And then He-Man, Prince Adam came in and was like, by the power of Grayskull, the power, Zap Cringer, your battle cat, let's get up. And then He-Man whooped on him and threw him around, and they won, and it was awesome. And then Orko told us not to do drugs at the end. And that's all they got out of He-Man.
You know, as soon as we heard that this was going to be a follow-up or a sequel series, the only plot thread, literally the only plot thread hanging from the old He-Man, because they were mostly self-contained stories, the only plot thread was the storyline of the sorceress, or Teela not knowing she's the sorceress's daughter. That's it. That's the only thing you could pick up on, really.
Well, and the fact that King Randor didn't know that Adam was He-Man.
Yeah.
Well, like that's the thing too. People complain that like characters die or like they get, or like it's like a certain kind of story the way it is. It's like it's the final story in the original storyline. This is the concluding chapter. It's how this storyline ends. Like, come on, and it's not over yet. It's a 2-part story.
And a lot of people don't realize that there were some very similar outlines to this for how they were planning to end the original Masters of the Universe if they were able to end the original show. The original show had a lot of things. There were a lot of things that they wanted to do. There was a definitive ending that they kind of had planned in mind, but they never got a chance to do it because of different things that were going on at the time with Rankin and Bass and the various companies that were involved with it. And what people needed to remember first and foremost was He-Man was put into place by Mattel to sell toys, okay? And the little comic books you used to be able to get with those He-Man action figures were dark as hell.
Yes, they were.
The storyline for Masters of the Universe was very, very deep. This is a true sequel to the 1980s Rankin and Bass TV series. This fits right in. It's a very solid story that actually makes some sense and actually tries to delve into that comic book lore that those of us who used to collect the action figures remember. But obviously, all these people crapping on all that are either too young or too dumb to remember any of that.
Look, I'll give people the benefit of the doubt, right? maybe they didn't watch the series. Maybe they didn't pay much attention to it. Like, look, because there's only a few different ways to look at this. Either you didn't really watch the series when you were young, or you watched the series and you know what? It was just background noise to you. You just kind of liked it because of the cool colors and the stuff, the magic and everything. And you like the toys. I mean, I got all these toys still here, right? And so, like, you know, kids like the toys and they would beat them up and, you know, they like to play with the sword and everything. You know,
I used to love the way that like the heads used to pop off of the bodies real easily.
Heck yeah, man.
Pop off He-Man's head and replace it with Teela's.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing. Tiffany's been cracking me up lately because like they've released now like 3 different versions of He-Man. So I got my original He-Man and Skeletor and like all these figures up here. But by the way, I got Man-O-Faces and Stratos and Ram Man up here. Do
you have Teela?
Oh, I got Teela right here.
Oh, okay.
I got Teela front and center. But yeah, I mean, I got Evil Lynn over here. I mean, I could actually kind of show you a little bit here, of just
nice. Yes.
Whoops. Let me hold on a second.
There's more stuff in this classroom when I.
And who doesn't love Evil Lynn? I mean, come on, man.
Look, I got the reaction figures behind here. I got Faker there. Oh, by the way, that introduction of Faker. How cool was that?
People don't remember Faker. That's what it is. They don't remember.
Look, there's Prince
I've
Adam.
always loved Faker. Faker's just a great character.
He-Man, Man-O-Faces.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I was born in '83, so I vaguely remember the cartoon.
There's your PLW champion. Zorn.
For me personally, my He-Man love and experience is solely based off of the 1987 canon film.
Woo!
I love that movie. Like you don't understand. I love that freaking movie. Like it might be horrible, but like it is one of my favorite movies.
No, it's not horrible. It's awesome. It's a great movie that took He-Man in a different direction, but it was still great. It was still a great interpretation, and it was super cool. And honestly, Brian, if that's where your love for He-Man begins, that's a great place to start.
Don't get me wrong. I have the cartoons and stuff, but like I don't remember a lot because I did a lot of drugs over the last 20 years. So, you know, kind of out there. But
real quick shout out to Real Elmo Cinema and H Barts, who I just got to meet this last weekend. What's up, guys? See you in the chat there. Good to see you guys, as always. Wanted to say hi before while I saw him there. Sorry. No, and you know, Brian, that's fine, man. You know, like I said, everybody's a different place. Like there's people who saw it, there's people who didn't see it, there's people who paid a lot of attention to it, there's people who didn't pay any attention to it. There's people all things.
Like this is my Skeletor. You know what I mean?
Right.
Nothing wrong with that. That's great. That's great, man. We were supposed to get a sequel to that movie.
That's true because he popped up out of the thing. I'll be back,
and it turned into I think it was the Jean-Claude Van Damme Cyborg movie.
I think I just echo what Zod says, that it's like, okay, look, if you're going to have such a strong opinion about something and come out this hard against it and try to go and review bomb it, right? And first of all, review bombing is cowardly. Okay? And it's stupid. Nobody should be.
That's what they do to Zack Snyder all the time.
So, I know. So that
to the Justice League.
That's freaking cowardly. Look, well, you know what? I even say there's a difference between not liking a video on YouTube and going
a coordinated strike.
Well, but you know what? It was a thing of like nobody was telling you to do that. These people who are going and leaving actual reviews saying that this is crappy and it's obvious that they didn't even watch it. That to me, everybody who was upset about Justice League, and I'm not saying that was necessarily the right thing to do to go do that, but I'm saying at least everybody who disliked that Justice League trailer saw Justice League, and that's why they were upset, because we all know that Justice League was awful, right? At least there's some correlation there. This is literally being mad at something. This is literally though being mad at something simply because it exists and it's not the story you wanted.
It's funny you mentioned Justice League and Justice League. Am I the only one like when He-Man died? Was it kind of like everybody knows, or even better yet, did He-Man scream wake up the mother boxes?
But by the way, talking about the review bombing,
No, all right.
one of my most disliked videos of all time was the day after Captain Marvel opened. It was the Friday morning of Captain Marvel's release. It had only had Thursday night shows, and it already had more negative reviews on Rotten Tomatoes than Infinity War, which opened a year prior. And I did a video pointing out how this is fake. Because how can a movie that only had Thursday night showings have more negative reviews than a movie that's been out for a year, or more reviews total?
Yes,
And
it's people
See,
making
this
new
is
accounts.
the kind of stuff. This is the kind of stuff that I hate right here. This comment right here, Enosh. I was going to watch it, but I heard He-Man died first episode.
Who cares what you heard? Make up your own opinion.
Watch it, man. You don't know what you're missing out on. Like, for real.
Like here's the thing. Wouldn't that make you wonder, like, well, why does he die? What happens around his death? There's what's going on with this show, right? And that's my problem. Look, I want to make it clear. Anybody here who saw it and you're just like, hey, I just didn't like it, that's fine. If you just didn't enjoy it for whatever reason. But
you don't like good stuff, okay.
But yeah, like I disagree with you. I disagree with you. But here's the thing. Even though I disagree with you, you have the right to your opinion, and that's fine. What I don't like is when people, if you don't like something, just say, look, I didn't like this. Maybe you didn't like the artwork. Maybe you didn't like the storytelling. Maybe you didn't like what story they told. That's all fine. But when people start saying, well, this craps on the original series, that's not true.
God.
That's literally just listening to somebody else say that. When
this
show
is literally the opposite of that. Literally the exact opposite. The exact opposite of crapping on it.
I felt like they did a great.
I want to make clear that I'm not saying that you have to like He-Man Revelations. You don't, or Masters of the Universe Revelation. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that this narrative that it's just woke, that it's trying to push an agenda, that Kevin Smith is trying to push this feminist, gay, queer baiting agenda. Whatever, man. They can't even make up their minds what they want.
The big
to
thing
say
that they're
is.
saying now is that he lied. That the show proves that he lied. That He-Man was the main star. Like I said, there was a tweet where he said, I don't remember what it was.
He-Man is the main star.
His influence is everywhere. Every episode.
The whole thing is at the core. It's He-Man's story at its core, man.
Yes.
I don't understand how you could say. Did these people forget who Teela was? Enosh, is that what it is?
Zod, these people don't know what real story is. They think that for He-Man to be the focus of the story, He-Man has to be doing all the action. He-Man has to be in all the fights. He-Man has to beat all the bad guys, or it's not about He-Man, because they're the kids who sat at home on a Wednesday afternoon and just watched He-Man beat up all the bad guys, and so they knew that's the way that they knew that He-Man was the focus. If He-Man doesn't do the beating up and He-Man doesn't do the fighting, He-Man must not be the focus. They don't understand narrative. They don't understand story. They don't understand the story arc, that this is all about He-Man. This is like literally bleeding He-Man out of every pore in its body.
There are some scenes in this show that are so epic and so poignant that connect and call directly back to the original series in such beautiful ways. I don't know what people are smoking.
John, it is review bombing, and you know how you know it's review bombing? Because most of the reviews that are negative like that are one of two things. And this is there. You can go look at this.
I literally read one of them.
It's people who literally have never reviewed another show or movie or TV thing or movie or anything. Okay, so you know that they're there for one reason and one reason alone. Or do you know what other movie most of them had downvoted? And by the way, and the only other movie was a horribly negative thing. You know what it is? Anybody want to take a guess?
I'm going to guess it was my third favorite Star Wars movie.
Probably, if that's The Last Jedi.
Oh, yes, it was.
So what does that tell you? It tells you it's the same people. They only got one agenda. They accuse everybody else literally of having an agenda. Okay? They accuse everybody else of having an agenda and trying to push something and force a narrative. Yet if you have never gone to Rotten Tomatoes to ever do a review and you just randomly picked either Masters of the Universe Revelation to do for your first one, because this was the one that finally pushed you over the edge, right? Okay. Or after being told that it was going to be this horrible thing, right? Because Clownfish TV told you, and Grace Randolph told you, and IGN, for God's sake, IGN is the end-all, be-all of all things. If the IGN tells you, then it must be true. And so they told you it was going to be this way, so you got pissed off because it wasn't what they told you, what these sources told you. You went and you did that, and then also, or it's the people who were like, oh, I didn't like The Last Jedi. Well, who are those people? Who are those people who are that vocal and that just still, like Brian said? Like Brian said, I mean, how many years has The Last Jedi been out?
Dude, far too long. I've lost count. No, it's
you know what I mean? Like
I don't like it
it's
because
been out
Nerdrotic
forever.
said not to.
Exactly.
That's basically what I distill it from now. And it's that
so they
dumb for me.
they absolutely did review bomb it. They did not go in with just the idea of I'm going to review a show. That's not what they did.
I don't have opinion. I listened to Doomcock.
Well, Doomcock immediately jumped on this.
Of course he did.
And he's got a video immediately.
Everybody
Immediately.
does.
All them do.
Geeks and gamers, they all do.
Stay angry.
Cannon fodder for the menace is what I like to call this.
Oh no,
So,
I know Monkey Jeebus. By the way, I like that name. We're gonna. I don't know if that's a callback to the Seth MacFarlane cavalcade of Monkey Jesus, but it'd be great. Yeah, but look, I know we're not going to convince everybody because people have their own canon. But here's the thing: as a fan of stuff who actually knows the canon to stuff, and see, that's the difference between this channel and a lot of other channels, guys. Like, I'm going to tell you when something is something. Supergirl is everything that's wrong. Like, you can still like it. I'm not saying you don't have to like it, but it absolutely does have an agenda, and it's right there. I mean, they're trying to hit all these certain points, right? There are things like that are trying to do that, and you can watch them knowing that and accept it and glean from it what you like. But what I don't like is when people try to make up canon and act like it's fact. Like RJ and I reading that thing, and it's like, it's undeniable fact.
Or it's objective fact. It's
subjective fact.
I have a question. Did anybody here like Solo?
Oh, yes.
It's okay.
Absolutely.
It's an okay movie.
So before that movie came out, it was going to be the worst thing ever. It was going to be awful. It was going to be a joke.
Solo.
They were going to make a joke out of Solo. Oh my God, it was going to be freaking terrible. And then when it came out, it was like, well, it's still terrible.
The movie itself was good.
And Monkey Jeebus,
It should have been made. But
I will say this. I know trolls exist, but I am
granted,
doing my own thing.
asked for
That's
it.
why I'm doing my own thing. That's why I'm here, because somebody's got to know that this idea that this doesn't follow. I mean, look, somebody we just read the comment. Well, I heard he died, and so I didn't watch it. That's a travesty. You're keeping yourself from watching something that you could, quite frankly, really enjoy.
That's the story. That's the
other thing. He died, but remember, it's a animated feature, so there's some things in there.
Superman died in BVS. Okay, so like I got over that.
Died in the first
Everybody keeps saying too, oh, Kevin Smith lied. Kevin Smith lied. Does anybody know anything about Hollywood and how Hollywood works? If these people come out, if these people come out and they're like, here's the plot we heard, this is what we heard was going to happen, and the show hasn't aired yet, you really expect the creator of the show to come out and say, you're right, everything you said happens on my... No, they want you to watch the damn show. They don't want it. They're not going to verify your rumors.
It's so sad, man.
Well, not only that, but okay.
These people are not fans. These people are grifters. They're doing this for money. That's all it is.
I wanted to share this tweet from Kevin Smith real quick because people are saying this is like a gotcha to him. He said, this is back in May of 2020 when the leaks were starting to come out about the show. He said, with all due respect to Screen Rant, I've read every Masters official script for our shows, plus wrote a few, and viewed four amazing animatics. Thank you. While Teela is as present as she's always been in the Master of the Universe adventures, and she plays a big role, our series is literally all about He-Man. And there's quote tweets of people saying he lied. Where's the lie in this? It is about
They didn't watch the show. They didn't watch the show, RJ. That's what it is.
Saying, like, What is he lying about? The show is about He-Man.
I have a secret for these knuckle draggers. Okay, you can have a main character of the show not be on the show.
What?
You can allude to him.
Oh, but see, here's the thing, Red Scorpion.
I mean, that's like a whole nother level.
It's not called He-Man. Why
Why
call it Teela Master of the Universe? It's literally just called
When
Masters.
did they use He-Man?
It's called Masters of the Universe Revelation. It's not called
Because
He-Man
it
and the Masters of
ties-
the Universe.
Because it ties in with the overall mythology of Masters of the Universe.
And it has
That
everything.
means-
He-Man has everything to do with it.
Well, they're upset because the trailers highlighted He-Man in prominent action poses. Like, no,
trailers are
that
pretty
means he's the
Prominent
main
action
character.
poses.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
and
what
if
they're
you
gonna
want to
talk
get
about.
and if you want to get technical, I mean, Skeletor's the freaking master of the universe. So where's the outrage there?
You bought the figure. Now
Gosh darn it!
Oh, that's a great
That
figure,
is a
man.
nice figure.
That's great.
Oh,
Yeah.
I want an action figure.
Check out Wave 1.
I'm
You got
holding it out for an
check
action
out Wave 1.
figure.
You got He-Man there. You
Who's
got Boss
missing?
Man.
Who's missing from
Skeletor,
Wave 1?
Evil Lynn.
Who's missing?
I thought
There's no
this
Teela.
Yeah.
was the main character.
I thought Teela was in it. She
Wait a second. There's no Teela
She-Man.
figure. She's the freaking
She-Man.
star of the show. She's the star of the show, and there's no Teela figure until Wave 2. I hear.
My
Oh,
local
by
Target.
the way, they also have all powerful. I don't know what do you call him.
Skelegod.
Skeletor man.
Did you
Skeletor.
get- did you
That's
get
the only
did you
one
get
that my
the
store
He-Man?
has.
Dude,
Hey,
they didn't have the
Enos, did
He-Man.
you get
They
it?
didn't
Oh.
have He-Man because Isaac found this at Walmart for me, and so I'm going to go out tomorrow and I'm going to find He-Man. But here's the thing. Here's something. First of all, this thing was filled with so many amazing things. Did you guys catch all the Star Wars references in this thing? Star Wars references. Did you catch? Hey, Brian, did you catch the references to the Masters of the Universe movie?
Oh yes, very much so.
Yep.
Like this. Oh yeah, like
Just Mark Hamill's voice entirely.
Oh,
I was like, dude, he sounds just like Frank Langella. Like in certain parts of it, I was like, oh my god.
when he looks at
Let this be our final battle. I was like,
The hoverboards were a reference to the 89 or the 87
oh yes,
movie.
that one too. Where there's
remember these?
Oh, I was like, bum, bum, bum,
Uh-huh.
bum, bum, bum. I was like, yeah, get some, dude. Oh, man.
I'm like over here, like losing my mind, so excited about every little
There
stinking
was
thing.
so much that was steeped in the lore in this series. It was fantastic.
Well, not even
It
just
had,
the lore
it had
perspective.
everything. It had callbacks to the comics. It had callbacks to all the classic He-Man elements. It even had homages to the 2002 series. This was a great series.
Not even just like the lore stuff, like the emotional stuff in this show. You know, you
Yep.
see the impact, like Man of Arms, the love he has for Teela, and like that family unit, right? And you know, Orko sacrificing himself. I was shocked how emotional I got with that because like Orko is like, no, Orko, you have value. You're doubting yourself because of what your parents told you, dude, and you're not worthless.
When
you know?
Skeletor calls Evil Lynn over, and he's like, "You did good, Lynn." Oh my gosh, that was so Joker. That was
Yeah,
so
he called her Linny.
Linny.
Good job,
Yes,
Linny.
yes, good. You
And
did
he,
good.
and he did that. And he did that, and that was an intentional callback to the Joker too. That's what people don't realize. So you can't make fun of it because it was intentional.
I'm just saying.
Hold on, wait. You know that movie that you like, Brian? What was that movie called? Was that movie called He-Man?
Yes.
Was that movie called He-Man, Brian?
I think I had to go AFK for a
Yeah.
second.
Oh yeah. No, you know what? Let me speak for Brian, because that movie wasn't called He-Man in the Masters of the Universe. That movie was called Masters of the Universe, and it starred Courtney Cox as a human on Earth, and it starred what's his name?
Tom Paris. Tom Paris. Robbie McNeil.
Tom Paris on Earth. Okay, and it also had the dude from Back to the Future, the principal from Back to the Future,
Principal Stringer. James Polkan.
Oh, I'm sorry. Was that not a He-Man movie either? Was that movie not about He-Man?
No,
at all?
it was woke. It's woke.
That was pretty woke, wasn't it? I mean, they put Gwildor in there for God's sake. It was about the code key. Like for God's sake, I'm sure that wasn't a He-Man story.
That was some woke crap.
Oh yeah,
That was woke as ever, man.
We didn't have that term in 1987.
Bradley
It
is
was
correct though.
reflecting
Having
both
Kevin
1987.
Conroy there as Merman was fantastic. I
Oh,
love Kevin.
Kevin Conroy.
Oh,
But that is a good question though. I mean, do you guys feel like Teela's reaction was overblown? Some people said she's acting like an asshole or calling her names and stuff.
That was one of my problems with the whole thing. For me, the premise of it, I thought the premise of it was great. I liked the overall story. I hated the pacing of this show. I thought, especially the first episode, was the hardest for me to get through because a lot of that emotion was crammed into 20 some odd minutes. I love the fact that he's updating the consequences and the stake of the story to something modern that I can appreciate now. But I just felt like it was being told to me in the pace of a cartoon of that era. So I have this modern storytelling, which was great. Like I said, it just the pacing for me really threw me off. And another thing that I had an issue with it, I didn't care about the deaths at certain points. That was one side effect of how people were killed and sacrifices, all that. Certain characters' deaths just didn't hit me because I'm jaded of watching so many comic book deaths and cartoon deaths. I just know that certain characters are going to come back. And even if they don't come back, the emotion of them dying at that point just didn't do it for me. I did love the overall premise of the vision of what he was going for, but there was a lot of stuff that shook it up for me. But like I said, if I had to give it a review, it was not a waste of time. I actually liked it. I did notice a lot of the stuff that was spread throughout the show as far as references of stuff that I watched, as a kid and other things that reference He-Man, especially if you read the comic, especially if you knew characters like Hordak and all that. You understood he took the darkness that was never really able to bleed through the show and brought it to the surface in a way that if you watch the old stuff, they weren't going to be able to do. But there was an element of darkness in He-Man that's always been there, and he tapped on that. It's just the pacing and certain things that just really stunted it for me.
Finally, for once, genuine criticism. That's not just, it's woke.
No, and then here's this term about woke. There's something sinister about the term woke that really has always bothered me. And it always seems when it's something that doesn't look or feel like the status quo, that it's woke. When there's a character, when there's a strong woman or anybody that's of different cultural significance is put in the forefront at any given time, that's woke. That's a problem with people not being able to shift to entertainment, looking and feeling like the people that actually make up your world and not what was forced onto us for quite a while. So when I hear woke, my mind automatically shuts down as far as that person goes, as far as being able to take that person seriously. It's really hard for me to respect whatever they say because they're using woke as a way to say this doesn't look like, what I think it's supposed to look like. And I think that's a problem.
Here's something interesting, kids. So, they got a Masters of the Universe show coming up here that if you haven't seen, that's going to be an ongoing series. That's like a regular cartoon ongoing series, and we showed the toys from that, and those toys look absolutely horrible. They look like they're for 3-year-olds, and that's fine. But for me as an adult, I ain't gonna go out and collect that. And the animation looks pretty silly, but you know what? I'm sure there's gonna be. I'm gonna watch it. But you know what I told Tiffany watching this? I felt like my childhood was jumping off the pages of the comics, jumping out of the screen, but in a modern way that was like, it was like these characters all aged with me. It was like we were all 8 years old together back then watching it, even the characters, and now we're all 44 years old and we're all more adult and we're all able to have higher stakes and stuff. I'll be honest with you. You know what it was like watching? It was like watching the best G.I. Joe movie that's ever been made. G.I. Joe Resolute. You ever watch G.I. Joe Resolute, folks? If you haven't watched G.I. Joe Resolute, you need to watch G.I. Joe Resolute. If you're a G.I. Joe fan at all and you haven't watched it, because in the first 5 minutes, Cobra Commander blows up. This is a spoiler for you, but this sets the tone. Cobra Commander actually blows up Moscow and kills 9 million people. That didn't happen in the old cartoons, yet all the characters have the same character looks. They didn't try to change them and just like the G.I. Joe, Rise of Cobra movie, and just give them all battle armor or whatever, they're act like Bazooka is in his Bazooka football jersey,
number 14,
number 14, baby. It's all that stuff. They look exactly like the characters yet it's all very serious and the stakes are high. You know?
Rise of Cobra turned them into Muppet Babies. They all went to high school together.
G.I. Joe babies will make your dreams come true.
What are the odds? Like that's like I said. That's like if you did a TV show about George Bush and Saddam Hussein as high school roommates.
Oh no! What is this?
Randy says, "Please get RJ to read the replies." I think that should be like a regular thing now. RJ just reading replies.
I can do different voices probably.
Let me know. I can come in later. I was gonna say, dude, if you're gonna do that, you got to do like a dude bro voice or something like that, or like,
oh, dude,
what's up, bro?
Well,
something. I mean, come on, like, I don't know. It was.
I was waiting for him to come on the show.
It was like Maud Flanders, like.
I'm gonna start doing auditions for the voices of like haters, since I get so many haters like sending me messages and stuff. We'll just do we'll do a weekly show called the haters, and I'll just have you all audition to be the haters and all of the drama filled stuff that people said. You wouldn't believe the stuff I've gotten in the last week. Apparently, I ran the motion comic.
You read the motion comic, bro.
Oh my god!
Oh my gosh!
Cristo
apparently, it was my personal idea and my vision, even though I had absolutely nothing to do with it. That I should be ashamed of myself. I should be ashamed of myself because of what happened with the motion comic. And I'm like, apparently, I should disavow my good friend Dawson because he was part of the motion comic. I should not talk to him anymore. Just so much other stupidity. I need to finally just admit that the Snyderverse is dead, or else apparently people aren't going to be my friend anymore. I don't even know how that works. Apparently
some extortion shit.
Apparently it's some people's like absolute like must have that I have to somehow come to a conclusion at some point in the future that the Snyderverse is dead, or they will never be happy. It's like they're getting paid.
They don't get their magical powers. You have to admit that the Snyderverse is dead for them to become the wooden toy and become a boy. That's what this is all. I don't know. What is the personal stake in this ending?
Is anything ever dead?
Have you guys
ever dead? Because what do you call it?
Movies never die.
But Michael Keaton last played Batman in 1992, and he's coming back. Is the
As a
Brainverse dead?
72-year-old man, he's coming back.
Okay,
but that's the thing. I got yelled at. I'll say this, and Brian, you go. I got yelled at for both being too much on the side of the Snyderverse, right, and the Snyder Cut, and then I'm a Snyder cultist. That I'm the leader of the Snyder cult, but somebody else was mad at me for saying I was a leader in the community. Then all 5 months ago, right, when literally people in the movie came on and said it, and even when I tried to explain it to him that I look at being as a leader, like because of what I do, I'm a pastor. Right. And so like I look at being a leader as being a servant to all, of being an encourager, of encouraging people. Everybody on this panel has leadership qualities. You all bring leadership to things. I'm in a band. I am in a band of 4 people and there's nobody in charge. You know what? We all bring our different things. I write songs, right? And I communicate really well with promoters. My singer, she has her own marketing firm. So I look to her leadership for marketing and to get our name out there. My drummer is an engineer. So I love the fact that he's very organized and he knows money really, really well. Like we all have leadership qualities, but somebody's pissed off about it. So either I was too much on the Snyderverse and Snyder Cut side, or literally somebody said because I was interested in seeing the Flash or the Suicide Squad that I had abandoned everyone, that I had betrayed Ray Fisher, who on this very program said that he was actually interested in seeing the Flash movie because his friend Ezra Miller is in it. And also his best friend Wayne T. Carr said the same thing. But because I said, hey, you know what? I may go see it a couple weeks after it comes out, to like a matinee and spend a couple bucks, just to see it. I'm not going to go on the night that it comes out. What?
Chill.
I know. Yeah. So I'm apparently a Snyder cultist and against the Snyder Cut, and was never a fan at the same time. So if we just get together and just have like a drama reading every week, like I'll just give you all roles and you can all play different parts.
And like Shakespeare in the Park.
Sounds like fun. I'd be down for that.
I don't think Dawson believed me because like I've told Dawson a few times, like, Dawson, you would not believe some of the inbox stuff I get. And he's like, what? You got to be kidding me. And I'm like, dude, it's unreal. People like, I don't know why I'm such a target for this, but like people feel like they have to personally convince me that the thing that I like or the thing that I believe or the thing that I'm okay with is wrong. Like if I say, hey, look, if I just say there is a possibility for the Snyder verse to continue. I have not reported that. I've not come on and gone, hey, I've got some sources, right? Like I know all this stuff. I've literally said, here are the things in the ways that I see it that this could happen, right? If you don't denounce this idea, basically they're going away. By the way, the Richard, I sent you a link, man. But like that's the point, right? Like if I don't denounce the Snyderverse, like I'm just a horrible person. And like I don't understand that. I don't get that. Like why? Like and even with this thing, I come out and I'm like, hey, you know what? I don't understand how anybody could like, well, you're just woke. You're a leftist. You're propaganda, and I'm just.
You're a corporate show for
well,
Netflix.
Okay, so yes, I think I figured out why. Has anyone ever seen the great movie Bloodsport?
Yes.
Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Yes.
Okay.
I've seen the
So
movie
does anybody remember how Frank Dukes finally won the Kumite? He made Sean Lee say Mate. It's like basically they want you to admit that the Snyder Cut is over or the Snyderverse is dead as a form of saying uncle.
Yeah.
That's pretty pathetic. If that's the that's
well,
but you know,
honestly, to me, it seems like the best thing I can think of, because that would like for validation purposes. I mean, to a certain extent, I get it, because it's like you're trying to help people kind of cope with the event, you know, in case it doesn't, and that's kind of how I've been, and everybody knows that. Like, I just don't want to see people lose their shit over it. That's my.
But
that's
you know,
my
Brian,
whole thing.
Brian, you know what I say to that though? When they challenge me and they think that they're going to win the Kumite championship, you know what I say, right?
Oh yeah.
Any trouble? I'm here fishing, minding my own business. Look,
I'm going to need you to leave.
I'm going to need you to leave.
This is my property.
This is my property.
There's no way I'm walking off my own property.
There's no way I'm leaving this hold, because I know Big Belly Kelly's up in here.
We've really got a problem here.
You're about to have a problem, bud. I've told you, do not approach me. Let's
go.
Let's go where?
Let's go right now.
Where are we going?
To the ground.
Are you threatening me?
To the ground.
Okay. I'm telling you right now, bud. I'm the wrong dude. Okay?
What the hell is that?
This. That's what it is, bud.
All right.
Listen, I don't want to hurt you. Kumite. Have you ever heard of a Kumite? 1987 Kumite champion right here, bud. These right here, go that way.
I need that minute and 30 seconds back.
Can I just say real quick? Bud! Crazy Joe's t-shirt right now. That t-shirt's awesome, Joe.
Oh, thank you.
Wow.
Oh, that's a cool t-shirt.
Titans.
I've never seen that before. I've never seen that one.
Yeah.
Hey, can I say something about these accusations of being corporate shills?
Yes,
because I've been accused. I've been accused of being a shill for Star Trek. For the people
who have
who
a cooler room.
Yeah, well, I want to say to the people who think I'm a shill for Star Trek, I love Star Trek, so I am totally willing, Paramount, if you would like to call me, I'm not getting any free crap though. And bring on the free crap, because I'm buying it anyway. I'm spending my money on Star Trek Discovery on Blu-ray.
I want a phaser. I want a phaser from Discovery. Those things are legit.
You want to shill with me? Let's shill. Come on, Paramount, call us.
I am
We will
so
shill.
down.
Ready and willing.
Paramount, if you're watching right now, okay? As soon as your next TV show comes out, all day, I will talk about nothing else.
Yeah.
Strange New World would be great.
Oh, I can't wait for Strange New
Worlds.
Oh my God, it's going to be fantastic.
New World.
Trailer for Prodigy came out today.
Ooh, I cannot wait for that one. That's the one with Kate Mulgrew coming back as Janeway.
Yeah.
Emergency holographic Janeway.
Oh man, that's gonna be great. Well, it'd be nice if they brought in like Robert Picardo a little bit, just some of the other characters. And that's kind of what I'm hoping with season 2 of Picard, is that we get a lot of like I love the cameos. I'm sorry. It's like when
there's one person in there. This is the only person I need to see in season 2, and that's Q. That's it.
Yeah, I want to see Q, but I'd also like to see like
and Guinan.
Oh, absolutely. When I found out that, say what you want about Whoopi Goldberg and all that kind of stuff, but like I love Guinan. Like she was one of my favorite characters in The Next Generation. Like period.
When the Borg first came, when they first the best of both worlds, when she gave her speech about how the Borg had wiped out her planet.
Brian, this is not the place for you to talk about how much you love Guinan. I mean, this there could be kids watching.
I know she's on The View. I can't talk very nice about that.
They can't show Guinan on The View. What?
That's where Patrick Stewart asked her to be on the show. It's on The View.
Patrick Stewart.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, Sir Patrick.
He's a knight. He has been knighted. So
I've heard Patrick Stewart's personal journals. They go something like this: Dear Vagina, you're great. Keep up the good work. Love, Patrick Stewart.
Welcome to Sexy Cakes, Erotic Bakery.
Sexy Cakes. Oh, the Erotic Bakery. What could be more erotic than a woman going to the bathroom?
Right? These are all cakes of women going to the bathroom.
I don't know what high school fraternity put you up to this, but we make erotic cakes here.
Patrick here.
I love both The Next Generation.
Look, Patrick here makes a good point, and I want to say this because Patrick here says too many men are afraid of women getting any form of positive spotlight in comic book movies in existence. Listen, I will say this: I don't like to take that position. Okay, like I will go anywhere else to try to like not take that position because I don't want to tell somebody that they're just a woman hater, that they're part of the, no pun intended, the He-Man woman hating club.
It's easy to distill it down to that.
Right, because I'm not trying to punch down to that, right? Because I just feel like I'm above that and I don't need that. Okay,
too much evidence.
The problem though. Yes, the problem though is when you literally leave a trail of breadcrumb. I mean, it's not even like a trail. It's like you just took a whole bag of breadcrumbs and just
screaming it in your face. It's not even like trying to hide it.
And it's just like when there's not even a woman who's strong like that, who or like a woman who is that is shown in a problematic way, that's like unrealistic or whatever, or it's not about equality. It's like about hating men or whatever. Like when you show that you're just trying to punch down on women, that's when I have to stand up and go, "You're full of crap. You're absolutely full of crap." Here's a great comment from what is that? Marcoda Batman says, "I highly doubt." I wonder if that was like a Skeletor thing. I highly doubt that he'd kill He-Man like that. This is a two-parter for a reason, right? Like, why? What's so bad with waiting for the second part to come out?
Because people, like you said, they don't want to be told a story. They want to dictate where the story goes.
Speaking of stories, look at this guy, DL Vince over here. Like, DL is a good guy. Like, guys, DL is a good guy. And DL, I want you to know, I watched your G.I. Joe the movie review today.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, I watched G.I. Joe the movie, the classic cartoon. And it's a good job. Good job.
Thank you. I am reviewing all the G.I. Joe movies, including that piece of shit, Snake Eyes, which is out right now. I'm going to actually drag myself to watch that. And
strong disagree on that. I thought it was really good.
Sean, I was trying to avoid bringing up the fact that I said that.
Yeah, we were trying to keep quiet about that. We don't want to bring attention to it, but it's too late.
But you know what? The thing is I did accidentally say it. I did accidentally say it, but you know what? It's like it is truly like they are leaving a trail everywhere they go. But you know what they say.
For you, boy. I'm coming hard. You come in my face, I'm gonna fight you.
Wow. Well, yeah. If you did that, I'd fight you too.
Yeah, well,
I'm gonna come on you like nobody's ever come on you before. Just you and I getting it on like two men should do.
I'm gonna pull on your knob.
You mean this
I'm
one?
gonna get off by cranking your knob just a little beyond the breaking point.
Oh my gosh.
Is Sean C. from Philadelphia? Oh, got a local guy here.
Hey, look at that Philadelphia guy. I don't know. I don't know. But you know, but like when you say that, I'm just gonna look at you and give you this answer.
There's nothing wrong.
Nothing wrong at all. You're not in any difficulty, but you're out on bond.
No, I'm not.
No, I'm not.
No, I'm not. You know why? You know why?
It's still real to me, damn it!
That's why. That's why. What's up, Ashley? Good to see you in the chat tonight.
What's up, Ashley?
No, please don't.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and go into Snake Eyes with an open mind. I'm not gonna go in there wanting to hate it. I'm gonna actually try and see if it's any good. But like my expectations are really low at this.
My expectations for Snake Eyes are just like so low right now. At this point, look, because I want to love it. I want to love it. I'm a huge GI Joe fan. This room is filled with GI Joes, guys. Like I literally just pre-ordered those new GI Joe figures. Do you see those new GI Joe figures? I know Crazy Joe has.
Yeah, I said I wasn't going to, and then I was like, yeah, it's happening.
I knew you would. I knew you would, Crazy Joe, because you're like me. You see something and that's really, really cool, and you're just like, how can I not buy this? Right?
Gotta have it.
Have you guys seen this thing? These GI Joes? I've showed them a couple times, but they made like cartoon, realistic GI Joe action figures that are coming out next year.
Oh,
and they look fantastic. Look at these.
Those look dope. I like those.
All right.
Yeah. Heck yeah.
What kills me is this opens up a whole new bag of worms because they're going to come out with a wave 2 and a wave 3, and I'm going to keep buying them.
Yep, and they're $55 a piece, folks.
Are you serious?
Oh yeah, people complain.
Guys, they look fantastic though. I mean, for real.
People sitting over here complaining about McFarlane figures. Oh, these McFarlane figures, man, they just don't look the way that I want them to.
Are they made out of solid gold?
There's only 22 points of articulation on these McFarlane figures. I mean, like what I really wanted is his mouth to move and actually like talk and stuff. You know, for $20, man, you would think they would do that. And meanwhile, Super Seven's over here with like, you know, with like these figures going, yeah, drop $55 on that. Did you see the Silverhawk ones? The Silverhawk ones were $55 too, but Monstar is $85 retail. So
wow,
it is like boom.
Monstar though, bro.
I know, dude. I know, but I couldn't. I just couldn't. I was like, nope, I can't do it.
That show didn't mean as much to me to spend that kind of money on it.
Yeah, I love the show. I've been watching it on Zod's Plex, man. But I was just like, I can't do that. I can't justify it. No. And look, these don't come out till July of next year.
It's just like, bro, it's Monstar. Oh my God! Like,
I got a Monstar. I got a Monstar over here somewhere. Where's my?
Not a $85 Monstar.
Not an $85 Monstar.
No, he ain't an $85 Monstar. Where is my Monstar? Somebody just
it's going to be so much easier when I clean out half your stash for you to be able to find stuff.
You think so, huh? You think so? Who just popped? Somebody just popped in. Oh, it's the Richard. Oh, okay. So this is a great way to start to bring this around town. The Richard, you're a huge He-Man guy.
Yes.
Okay, you are there. Okay, you're a huge He-Man guy. Okay, can I just say real quick, how great was Evil Lynn in this show?
God.
Yeah, I love Lena Headey's voice.
That voice was great. I did love that. That voice is.
I love the cast entirely. Everybody's voice was fantastic. Like it was perfectly done. Like I had.
Yeah. And by the way, if I see anyone go after Sarah Michelle Gellar, I will hate you for life. Don't be attacking her for voicing Teela. Don't be an idiot.
I have no issues with that whatsoever, dude. That was amazing. I was like, dude, I love her as the seventh sister in Rebels. So I was like, this is just an extra level of awesome.
Sarah Michelle Gellar is such a national treasure.
Hey guys, I'm really enjoying being Alice in the center Brady Bunch square here, but I got to go to bed, so I'm going to take off.
All right, man, you go to bed. But hey,
all right, later, bud.
Hey, but just remember, Prince Adam is wounded right now, so say a prayer before you go to bed.
Oh, absolutely.
All right, man. We'll see you.
Good seeing you, man. Good night, everyone.
Yeah,
Remember, good journey. Good journey, everyone. Not goodbye, as they say in the 87. Good journey.
Yes, good journey. Good journey. Good journey to you, sir. Good journey to you. All right, man. All right. So the Richard. Now I'll put the Richard here because we'll put the Richard center square because we're gonna give him a chance because I know he's a huge He-Man fan. He showed me his He-Man art. We're gonna look at this stuff. Look at this stuff this guy's got back here.
Oh yeah.
These are my original paintings and everything, and I'm going to rotate them for the next few nights as I pop into little shows and stuff. I've got a whole bunch. And first of all, aloha, everyone. It's so awesome to be here. Thank you for having me on.
Heck yeah, man! Always glad to have you on, the Richard. You're a great guy. So have you watched Masters of the Universe Revelation?
Twice so far, and I'm going to watch it in slow motion later on.
Yes.
All right. So what are your thoughts now, having watched it twice?
Okay, let me tell you, I didn't catch the first part of your show, so I'm coming in full on. This is just me. Nobody else's opinion from this panel is influencing.
I'll just tell you, you missed an hour of me and RJ going back and forth on a Twitter thing that I got of somebody trying to tell me how stupid I am and basically that I don't know what I'm talking about.
Yes, and use my best Paul Bearer voice.
Yes,
don't play that back.
So there you go. That's all you missed, sir.
Okay.
Well, we all gave our opinions. But.
Okay. First of all, you all know that I was the biggest cheerleader leading up to this. That I was planning on doing a tabletop game and working with Netflix and Mattel and everything. La di da di da. And after watching it, I'm even more excited.
Heck yeah.
I'm
baby.
so excited. I am so excited. I knew that the story was going to take a different direction.
Richard.
Yes.
You may want to pull your mic a little. If you can get your mic a little bit away from your mouth, it's just kind of distorting a little bit.
Okay. Maybe I'm being roboto. I don't know.
No. Maybe just a little close. It's just because it's just distorting. There's a lot of treble in it. There's not a lot of bass in it, so it's like just sounds really harsh when it's like right up there against your mouth. That's all.
All right. How do we sound now?
That's better.
I'll use my radio voice also.
There you go.
All right. Cool. Yeah, I used to work in radio. All right. Yeah, just let me know any of this because I'm still learning and everything.
No, you're good, man. You're good.
I think that they did pretty much what I was expecting them to. I didn't know how the story was going to go. I did know that, and there's a part 2, so there's another part to Teela's journey that we have not officially acknowledged yet in this, though I knew that it was going to be Teela's journey. I didn't realize. How are we on spoilers, by the way?
Oh, this is full spoilers, baby.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I warned everybody right off the bat. This is
pedal to the metal.
Heck yeah. No
I
holding
did
back.
not know that they were going to kill off He-Man, Prince Adam, in the first episode. I don't think he's dead. Obviously, no. He's going to come back. I've got some really great things to say about it, and I do have some nitpicks of casting issues that kind of I didn't really jive with. So I'm hoping that those evolve in the next 5 or so episodes for part 2. King Randor was a real jerk. If you look at everything that he was doing, of course, yes, his son had just died, though he was more of a jerk than he usually is, because usually it's in the old Filmation series in 1983, he would be jovially joking, "Oh, Adam, where were you?" or whatever. In this case, he's like smacking people around verbally and stuff. It was kind of odd in that regard. Cringer was way too vocal. I kind of missed him and Merman having their little kinks. Their like Cringer would occasionally,
Merman,
and then Merman would have his bubbly voice occasionally. Now I didn't expect Batman to voice actor
Kevin Conroy.
Yeah, I didn't expect him to do the full merman. I mean, I wouldn't have picked him for merman in the first place. So I think we're going to actually see more of him later on as well. Let's see. I'm trying to think. We did a little show earlier. It was a part 1 of 3 that I'm working on. I really liked the show. I liked the dynamic of Teela and Andra, though, and I do not think that they're lesbians. And if they are, it's okay. First of all, and the reason I say this is because it's old. They're older. A lot of things have gone on. People and times have changed. Though, when you see her, when you see Teela interacting with Adam again, and upon her reflection of He-Man and Adam throughout the whole show, you see she's got an affection for him. So it doesn't matter if they are if the girls are together or whatever. I don't care. Whatever. I don't care. I could tell.
Well, even Evil Lynn talks about because the comment is made to Evil Lynn that she's been pining for Skeletor and talking about Skeletor, and Evil Lynn even throws it back at Teela and says, "Well, I'm not the only one pining for someone, am I?"
Right. And okay, going on Evil Lynn. First of all, I think she's absolutely beautiful. She's always been attractive to me because I like goth music and darker stuff and all that and everything. La-di-da. When she took off her hair and everything, you could see how beautiful in more ways than one. And then it's funny when when Skeletor comes back, she's like, "Oh well, I'm going to the dark side again."
You think that's to stay though?
No,
I don't think it is either. I think that they got to her heart. I love to see the interaction between her and Orko. That was fabulous.
I think that changed Evil Lynn forever though, because Orko, I think, really like that conversation, that whole thing in episode 4. Like I think that really changed her heart.
Now
she wasn't yellow though in the show. The figure was yellow. I'm looking at the action figure right here. The action figure was yellow, but she wasn't.
That's something else.
But no. He's no. I get what I know what he's referencing because I got the figure right here. I can grab it if you want me to. But the figure is yellow. Her skin tone is yellow. But in the show, in the old cartoon, her skin tone was not yellow.
Okay, you notice I've got every single compendium, everything here. This is 800 pages of every mini comic ever, and the comic books.
Dude, are you kidding me right now?
No, I'm not.
Dude, that's
awesome. How close are you to Michigan? You might raid you.
Dude, that is awesome. I didn't know that existed. Yeah, here's Evil Lynn right here, the action figure. And she looks like the Simpsons. She looks like Marge Simpson. As Evil Lynn, but that you notice something here too. Like as much as they copied the men action figures as far as the torso and all that stuff, you notice,
I was going to bring that up. For the Teela figure, she came out with 2 different sets of headgear.
Yes.
There was the snake gear with the snake staff, and then her tiara or whatever and everything. So regarding, I don't know how much of the history you want to get into, but Filmation was on a budget.
The tiara is built into it.
Okay.
So the goddess thing, the snake stuff was actually because she was supposed to be a different character named the Goddess. And somebody actually referenced it a little while ago. Because Monkey Jeeves actually said Teela should become the Goddess. I don't believe she's going to become the Goddess. She's going to become the straight-up sorceress.
Yes.
By the time this is all done. Because that was her rightful place. They talk about that actually in the original series. That she's the sorceress's daughter.
They made a fan film about that, too, where she eventually became the sorceress.
Yeah, but they had her as the Goddess because they never back then. I mean, eventually they did, but it took them a long time to make an actual sorceress action figure.
Correct.
And so people used because in some of those mini comics, they kind of played it loosey goosey because some of that early stuff, because the mini comics didn't always go with the continuity of the cartoon, and vice versa. So they played loosey goosey with Teela's appearance in the comics as kind of like the sorceress when she had the snake gear on because she was the goddess. Yeah. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
In the comic, I don't have anything queued up to share, but in the mini comics, she always wore her snake gear.
Yes. I remember that one, dude.
Yes.
Show that again. Show that again. Oh, dude. Oh my gosh. I remember that one. Oh, yep. The Power of Point Dread. Yes. Oh, that brings back such memories, dude. Oh my god, I want that book. I want that. Is that still in print?
I'm not sure if it is. Most likely it is.
What's it called? What's it called?
Well, this is the He-Man and the Masters of the Universe mini comic collection.
Yeah, you can get that.
Okay, and it is 600 or 800. No, it's 1,238 pages of stuff.
Is that super expensive as I've seen it as being? Has it come down in price?
I have not done any.
It's about $50 on eBay right now.
Okay, I got all of these in 2019 when I had the ability to do so, because like I told you, I want to design a Masters of the Universe tabletop game. And as a matter of fact, on that, I have the original 1985 FASA role-playing game right here. And this has been opened, though never, ever played. All the pieces are still stitched together and everything. So this is how serious I am about Masters of the Universe. I really want to do a game.
Now, is that the complete collection of mini comics?
As of 2017, I believe it is, and I think this is it. Yeah. Now
I've seen that. That's all of them. Yeah, that's a pretty nice. You got it for, if it's still on eBay for $50, I saw it for way higher at one point.
Okay, well, because GameStop has one for $34.99 that's called He-Man and the Masters of the Universe Mini Comic Collection hardcover. What's your hardcover look like?
Well, this is the hardcover. You know what? I think I saw a part 2.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Because this one, because that's exactly what I got there, and then they've got a second one that has a different cover. It's got this cover. That one's $29.99. I'm trying to see what the difference. Oh, that one's the newspaper.
No, I got the newspaper right here.
Okay, yeah. So that's the part 2. The one that you just held up is the complete. Hold on a second. Let me pull you back up. I'm looking. Yep, that's the one. So that's the newspaper clip. That one's $29.99 at GameStop, and but the one that you just held up, that says that it has. What does it have here? It says the Toy Juggernaut Masters of the Universe and its subsequent action figure lines featured memorable pack and mini comics that aided in playtime for children across the world. This oversized hardcover collection features 68 U.S. releases, including all mini comics from the 80s Masters of the Universe line, the 80s Princess of Power line, so the She-Ra ones, and the 80s and 90s He-Man line, plus an introduction to the mini comics in the current Masters of the Universe Classics toy line. Relive the illustrated adventures that fueled your imagination, and you can get this on GameStop.com with free shipping.
Oh, that's good, because this thing is freaking heavy.
I am so freaking buying that.
Good. Just here, I'll just.
I love you, Richard.
Oh man, I love you too. Here, I'll just flip through some pages to show you how awesome this is.
By the way, I think Richard has to go. Hold on, we'll look at that in a second. Richard, William, you got to go, buddy.
Yeah, I'm gonna shut down and I'm gonna jump back on after I get home.
Okay, man, sounds good. Love you, buddy.
Man. See you guys later.
Be careful. All right. Now, show the inside of that, man. See?
Yeah, I was just gonna flip through this real quick, and now I've got every other compendium as well. Everything.
Can I just point out something? Can I just point out something, guys? Let me tell you something. Hey, for all you haters, and yes, I did call you a hater. For all you people. Because there's no other way to put it, bitching and moaning, okay? And you're crying about all this because Kevin Smith ruined my childhood. He ruined He-Man. This, ladies and gentlemen, is a He-Man fan. Somebody who actually read the stuff, knows the stuff, and this guy knows where they're going. Look. So let me show you something. This guy right here, right, represents that. This guy right here represents that. This guy right here represents that. I don't know where everybody else stands. I mean, I know everybody. Brian. I'd say Brian's still a He-Man fan. He loves what he's seen, and he's doing that, and that's all good because we love Brian.
I still have the toys. I watched the cartoons.
RJ's still hiding with that voice behind that thing right there.
I was not even born yet. I was nothing more.
His
than
Mod Flanders. Won't somebody think of the children voice?
DL, how much are you into He-Man?
I am like the biggest casual when it comes to He-Man. Like I as much as like I've probably seen like a couple of episodes of He-Man when I was a kid, but I have not followed it. It's even less so than G.I. Joe. Yeah. But Revelations though, this is actually kind of interesting. I actually enjoying it. And I did have some questions about that because, like, coming from people that are more hardcore Masters of the Universe fans, I was going to ask, were you guys okay with Teela having a bigger part and stuff like that? And apparently, I got my answer now. So okay,
there you go. So let's go to what you were going to tell us here, man. Because I feel like we're learning. Everybody can learn something here today.
Oh man, you're making my day, and my passion. I do have the passion. I do have the power. Okay, I've got the power. Let me just flip through this because it's not just because I know you want this. It's not just the mini comics. They also broke down the actual DC comic books.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
wait, is that Superman?
We're gonna get into that in just a second.
Yeah, dude, they did a DC Comics crossover, dude.
Yeah. Let me just flip through here. There's the New Adventures of He-Man right there. I think, right there. Blah blah blah. Anyway, this has got everything. Okay, you're talking about DC. Well, DC, Marvel did some He-Man comics, and that actually surprised me. I didn't realize that until I've got Marvel He-Man. DC Comics, yes, they've got. They did put out He-Man, and you want to see the crossover. This will blow your mind. Now I've got. I've got Superman versus He-Man. I've got a couple copies of this.
Oh yes.
And then this one I've forgotten about, and I've only got 2 copies of the same issue, and I haven't even checked to see if they're different, but they've got different covers. DC Universe versus Masters of the Universe.
Oh, flip that over. Can we see Teela? Is that's not a woke haircut, is it?
Looks pretty woke to me.
No, she's full on Red Sonja there. Let me take it out.
Why are you taking it out? 187, I love this. Says, I wonder what will classify as a He-Man show in part 2. Does he have to be in 90% of the episodes in part 2 to qualify? I'm asking. Yes. And the conversation with Orko. Oh, yeah. Okay, that was something else. Well, Mary says, according to the critics, no one else can be in it for more than 90%. Just He-Man. Yes. Sorry.
You know what? I'll just, as I'm showing you this, my theory is, He-Man will probably come back, I'd say about the third episode of second or third to last, when we get part 2, and it's totally going to set up a proper series, and at that point, we can get Hordak, and we can get everyone. That's what I'm thinking. Because there's a rights issue. There's a lot of stuff going on, and my buddy and co-conspirator Tony Bunyan Snipe, he and I were doing a show earlier today, Phantasmagorium, and he knows a little bit more about the legal issues of Mattel and Netflix and the other company. I don't know the business side of it. I just know the creative stuff on it. She-Ra is not in the cards at this second because of some sort of rights issue, and I can't speak on that, though. I just know that that's the way it is at the moment.
Can I just say, too, for all you toy fans out there, did you notice when they went into pre-Eternia that it was the Eternia playset? That whole, the cat, Zod knows, the cat and the little car thing that goes around and stuff like that. Dude! They went through that door, and I saw that thing, and I just about leaped out of my chair because I'm like, they freaking used the Eternia playset as the pre-Eternia and Wonder Bread He-Man.
Oh yeah.
Wonder freaking Bread He-Man. Do you all know who Wonder Bread He-Man is?
No, I don't actually.
You don't know who Wonder Bread He-Man is?
No.
Oh.
Okay, keep talking for a second. I'll find the actual. I'll find it right now.
Okay, you have Wonder Bread He-Man?
No. But I've got everything I've got every detail on every character.
Okay, I'm gonna show you Wonder Bread He-Man. So here was the deal. I can't remember the exact the lore of Wonder Bread He-Man, but oops, hold on a second here. I'm gonna save the image. I'm gonna pull up this image of Wonder Bread He-Man. Whoops.
I wish I had.
Oh my God! Right? I wish I had Wonder Bread He-Man because isn't it like because I believe if I'm right, and you can tell me if I'm right or not about this because I don't know that I'm right about this. So Wonder Bread, the bread company, right, offered this action figure right here, right? So it was He-Man, but he had this came from was that Stinkor? I think it was Stinkor. Might have been Stinkor's.
Stinkor.
That
might
voiced
by Jason Mewes. I was like, yes.
Yeah. So, but either way, this was from a different character, but they painted this black, right, with this right here, and then they painted his belt black, and everything's darker. His hair is dark brown instead of blonde or whatever. And
Zodak. It's Zodak.
Oh yeah, that's right. It's Zodak. You're right. You're absolutely right. It's Zodak. Yep. Monkey Jeebus got it on there too. Yes, you're right. It is Zodak. I'm sorry. Okay. So I believe the story went that they offered it as a mail away, right? But wasn't there something about like it didn't ship, or people didn't get it, like because people didn't believe it was real for like the longest time.
Okay, the story is on the Netflix show.
Yes, it is, and that's why I'm trying to remember it because I can't remember what the actual story was.
Here's what the book says regarding trivia. It says Wondar, and there's Wondar, same guy, same character, yeah. It says Wondar's action figure was a nod to a persistent rumor that a variant of He-Man had been released in the 1980s as a promotion with Wonder Bread. In keeping with this theme, the action figure came with a loaf of bread as an accessory.
Yep. And so
that's what
when they end up in Preternia, where they have all of the champions of the past. So you got Grayskull, you got Hero, which they showed Hero. Oh my gosh! Come on, this should be look. I feel like Michelangelo and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Ninja kick the darn rabbit. That's awesome. Come on, give me a break. You're gonna tell me that you got Hero, Grayskull, and Wondar in there from the Wonder Bread He-Man thing, and you're not losing your freaking mind as a He-Man fan? What freaking more does Kevin Smith need to give you to make you happy?
Seriously, everybody is sticking on the whole oh, it's so woke, or oh, they're lesbians, or oh, they killed He-Man. No, you're missing the gosh darn story. There's a whole story here with a whole collection of characters that you may have read about, you may have seen in comics, or maybe they were in the show. But you're seeing them in a different light, and they're working together, and you get to see their abilities. Their Whiplash has got a cybernetic tail now. I mean, come on, man. This is so amazing.
No, He-Man needs to be the main character.
Oh my God! If he's not in 90% of it, it's not a He-Man thing.
I need him in
They should have called it Teela and the Masters of the Universe.
Well, that's what people are going with. Yeah,
show.
That is what people are going with. I'm sorry.
It was just freaking Masters of the Universe. And the thing is that it was absolutely done correct. It was absolutely done fine. The story is a He-Man story. It is absolutely a He-Man story through and through, from start to finish. It's about what happens when He-Man, the most powerful man in the universe and the defender of Castle Grayskull and all of Eternia, literally lays down his life for the entire universe, and how everybody responds to that, both good, bad, indifferent, and everything in between, how his friends deal with it, how his family deals with it, how everyone deals with it, who rises to the occasion and who just moves on. And you know what? Here's the other thing. I love the fact that all of the magic disappears from Eternia. How awesome! I mean, when they go to this this whole thing about technology, and you got Cyclops out there, man, and
don't even get me started.
Trapjaw takes a saw to the face. Come on, man! This is so good. Everything about this is so good. Where it all goes to technology now, and I love the fact that they're playing up the fact that Teela has had it with magic. Because by the end of this, Teela's going to be the freaking sorceress, the protector of all the magic. So isn't that amazing? She's actually going to go on a character arc.
That's what
I'm going to use a harsh letter, but F you, haters.
That's what people don't understand. They don't. We got a half of a story here, and it totally flipped everything on our heads. And yeah, Kevin Smith did say. Well, he said a few things that were not necessarily the right things to say.
This is not a.
It doesn't matter though. But we watched the first half of this gigantic saga, and you're absolutely right. She most likely will be the sorceress by the end of the 10 episodes, or at least sometime in the second season. We know that's her destiny. Why else would the sorceress say, I wanted to see you one last time, Teela?
Monkey Jeebus, nothing that was in there was different than the original cartoon.
It felt like a natural extension to me.
Nothing. It's not a reboot. It's not just another reboot, though. It is a direct sequel because there was nothing in there that wasn't in the original cartoon or referenced at some point in the original cartoon.
They did have some flexibility utilizing poster art, such as I'm just showing this up as an example because I think they did use this picture in the intro.
Yes.
They used a lot. I forget his name. I think it's Brian Gobo or something. We mentioned it earlier, but yeah, they use a lot of the original poster and toy art to set up the scenario. And then later on, you notice they did a lot of CGI type art and everything. Some look good, some not the best. Though they were really trying to get us to remember that this wasn't always about magic. It was about amazing characters. And just because He-Man's out of the picture, well, guess what? We get to focus on some other characters and see how awesome or how good they are, or how they fail, what they sacrifice. I'm breathless, dude. We
finally got to see the power sword split like that.
Yeah.
And that's been part of the lore forever. It was even part of the action figures where the swords came, separately and everything, and I mean they never fit together quite right. You know what I mean? And it was like, but they talked about it in the comics, the mini comics all the time, but they didn't really talk about it a lot in the
I wanted to ask you guys this, and then I will have to dip out, but I wanted to ask, do you think if they released the whole thing is just an entire series, like a 10 episode series instead of splitting into parts, that it would have been received better online? You think people still would have been bitching and moaning?
Still bitching
and moaning.
Yeah, even if they saw the entire completed story?
It's because it's a day that ends in Y. They'll be bitching.
They were bitching before they even saw it.
Yeah, because I'm just thinking, if they see the end, obviously we know where it's going. We know the direction they want to go. It's so obvious, and it feels like it's going to be a natural conclusion to the storyline. It's going to really please fans. That's the goal of what they're trying to do here. I don't know. The optimist in me wants to think that maybe some people realize, no, it's not woke, it's not stupid. But then again, it's this is the internet, so.
Yeah, I just don't see that. I just see that because the things that people are literally complaining about, RJ, are things that are right there in plain view.
No, I know. That's what's so frustrating.
I mean, and that's the thing. So I don't feel like if they had the ending and they knew how it was going to end, it would be any different. Then they'd be complaining about how it got there, right? So they know how the end is, but yet
You know what's going to happen, though? When we get part 2 and they actually end up liking it, they're going to say, look, they listened to our feedback. They listened to our criticisms.
They changed it. They changed it for us. We won. I can see it now. We're winning the war for pop culture. Yes, we won the war. We put them in their place. We told Kevin Smith without respect. We reject. And we won. Teela was removed. Yes, He-Man was restored. It was great. Everybody's back to normal now. I don't know why I kind of have the timbre of Trump when I say this is Doomcock, but
Nah.
So wait, hold on. Question. So when the Netflix CGI cartoon comes out, are they gonna watch that and support it, or are they just gonna like let it like not even care? Because apparently that's what that CGI one is what they want. Traditional He-Man, like weekly episodic kind of storyline.
I heard it's gonna be kiddie though, like really.
Yeah,
kiddie.
yeah, it's meant for kids. Yeah.
Well, I mean,
well then they'll complain that they can't get like an adult like version of He-Man.
That sounds about right. I mean, they're just going to go for whatever. I mean, it's clickbait, and I mean, we all know who we're talking about. And I watch everybody. I study everybody. Yeah, and I watch everybody. It's so lame that they have to nitpick on this so hard before we even heard anything. Now, granted, yes, Kevin Smith did say some things that he shouldn't have said. Though it doesn't matter. Watch the gosh darn show. I mean,
to be fair though,
it was amazing.
I mean, I've seen some of Kevin Smith's comments though, but like he didn't really say anything wrong when he said the show's about He-Man. It is a show about He-Man, still at its core.
No, what he said was, his original proposal and everything that was like clownfish and stuff. I mean, they do really good stuff and everything, and I can understand their POV here. They were the first to show off that. And we were very excited all at the same time that Kevin Smith is a major fan and this and that. Well, it came out, videos leaked that he said he was never a fan, and also he said he didn't care. And then there was another video of him saying he killed He-Man twice in one series.
Oh, from the Netflix thing where it's like you didn't expect me to kill He-Man twice. Yeah,
he should have just shut his mouth. I mean, I love him to death. He's actually the reason why I'm here talking to you guys. He was the very first celebrity I ever met and fed popcorn to when I moved to Hollywood and was working at ArcLight Hollywood. He was the first. Him and his family were the first ones I met. So I've got a very special connection. And when I heard he was doing He-Man, that just sealed the deal. I want to do the game, and I got all pumped for this and everything. So I'm not saying anything bad about him. I wish he would have zipped his lips a little bit, though. That's all I'm saying.
Well, all I could say is yeah, that's what I said, Bradley. That's why I was like.
Yeah, I gave him popcorn. Yeah. And Andrew Dice Clay the same night, and a few other people.
That sounds like an interesting night
for a whole other episode.
The Dice Man.
Andrew Dice Clay came back and complained because it was my first night on the floor. He came back. It was Heckler was the name of the movie. It was a premiere, so that's why everybody was there. And Tom Green. Okay, so he was with Tom. Andrew Dice Clay was with Tom Green, and the Dice Man comes up. Hey, my buddy here, my buddy Tom. He spilled his popcorn. I think we need a refill. And I had just literally an hour before was told, do not give any refills on popcorn because they're going to try to squeeze it out of you. I couldn't give him. I had to turn him down. And then my freaking manager came over. Oh, yeah, we can give you.
Yeah, of course.
Hey,
He's
RJ,
like, yeah, I got to get into the celebrity.
Right, yeah, right. Hey, RJ, did you see this comment?
Yeah, well, thank goodness there never will be another.
Needles. They're coming out.
Don't worry. There will not be a fourth Back to the Future movie. There never will be, so long as I live on this planet.
Monkey G because I bought overpriced weed from Kevin Smith.
Tyrone Magnus hated this cartoon.
Oh, he did.
$15, little man.
He did, and Grace was not flattering either. So. I mean, not that they're the most positive people in the first place. I kind of thought Tyrone would have liked it.
Well, you missed the tweet that we went over earlier. Like the guy literally tried to tell me, he's like, "Well, I get my news from Clownfish, Grace Randolph, and IGN, and they said it was bad, and that they even didn't like it. So it proves my point." I'm like, it doesn't prove anything. Somebody somewhere doesn't understand the source material, and they got mad over something that doesn't need to get mad over. And trying to say that it's not a He-Man property and the He-Man is not in it. Like we said earlier, A character doesn't have to be in every frame of a show or even like part of every little thing. Like it's literally people, Richard, who maybe some of them grew up watching He-Man, but they didn't really pay a lot of close attention, right? Some of those kids, sometimes kids don't have the capacity for taking in the actual lore of a show, right? The actual like background of a show. They see the moving pictures. All these kids knew was Skeletor usually does something, right? He-Man or Prince Adam turns into He-Man. There's lights, there's camera, there's action. He-Man goes into battle, beats Skeletor, wins, and then like I said, Orko gives a little pep talk at the end, and everybody's fine, right? And that's fine, but then you can't come back 30, 40 years later and be like, well, this isn't what I grew up with. When it's all really there, you just didn't get too deep into it. And then my last point about that was the fact that like if you didn't get too deep into it, that's okay. That's okay. But I don't care what some other YouTuber said about it. I don't care what everybody else thinks about it. I just don't care. The point is that like somebody like you, Richard, somebody like me, like I ingested this stuff, man. I want to encourage all of you guys, go watch. It's right there on Netflix. If you watched it, if you watch this thing, you got Netflix. So go watch The Toys That Made Us. Go watch the He-Man version of that. There's also a documentary called there's a
Power
couple.
of Grayskull.
Power of Grayskull. I think that's actually on Tubi, isn't it? I don't think that's
it's on Netflix, but it might be on Tubi as well.
Okay, it's on Netflix. The Power of Grayskull. Go watch that. It's tremendous. It will give you the history of He-Man, of how this stuff was created, a lot of the lore, a lot of that backstory, and that's all I'm telling anybody. Like, you know what? If you don't like it, that's fine. But to tell everybody that it's just horrible, that Kevin doesn't know what he's talking about, Kevin, there were so many things in this thing, Richard, that I felt were just a love letter to fans because it's stuff the casual person would not even pick up on.
And it's so odd that a lot of the complaints were taking place before anybody saw the show. Now, granted, and I never talk negative about any YouTuber, and I'm not doing that now. I like Grace Randolph. I watch her. I'm very, very, very drawn to her. I think we would hang out nicely at a club if I was, But I do like her, and I feel that she reviewed this before she actually took a nap. I think that her assessment was incomplete. I feel that I expected more. As I'm listening to her,
Grace. I've respected Grace's take on a lot of things, and I've given her big ups for a lot of stuff. But like when hearing what she said about this and what some others have said about this, and then the idea, like I said, that I remember what I was going to say, this idea of like it's not a He-Man story because He-Man's not doing all the fighting, right? He-Man's not winning all the battles and doing all the stuff because he's He-Man. It's like He-Man is absolutely the focus and the focal point of this entire show. Without He-Man, this show can't even happen the way that it happens. You can't just throw Teela in there, and it can't just be Teela in the Masters of the Universe, because it's all about He-Man's sacrifice. It's all about He-Man's life, who He-Man is and what he was. And then even the flashbacks back that up by showing how much He-Man was a part of Teela's life and others' life, and like the example that he set, and the fact that she can't be He-Man. Nobody can replace him. I mean, there's no hero to replace him. No champion to replace him at that point. So it just,
or at least that's how they think, or that's how the characters feel. They feel lost. And I guess that kind of explains like the argument or the battles between King Randor. I mean, obviously Marlena, the mom, she knew that Prince Adam. She knew that he was He-Man.
They established that in the old show too.
Yeah,
because there's a point where she finds out when somebody says, and she's like, a mother always knows.
Mother always knows. Yeah. So I mean, I was frustrated that Teela was as bitchy, I guess. I don't know a better word. She's really grouchy, though. She's that's what happens when you lose someone that you care about. You go into the shell. You're dealing with it. You're trying to cope. So this journey is, I mean, it's not a happy journey for her. why are we acting like this is her show when she's actually going through this whole trauma years later, even trying to, cope with this tragedy, and the tragedy just keeps building. And then by the last episode, when Skeletor, pops out and becomes the monstrosity that he's become.
Right.
Holy crap! That means it's gonna be crazier in the next 5 episodes. This is amazing.
I can't wait. I loved every moment of this. Like I said, it just had me. It had me every turn. I was yelling and screaming at the screen, but not apparently why others were yelling and screaming at the screen. I was like, "Did you see that? Oh my gosh, that's the thing. That's Wonder Bread He-Man. That's Grace. Oh my gosh, it's the disc that they fly on in the movie. Oh my god, it's like all this stuff, and it's just I tell you what, man, I loved it. I'm sorry that I make no bones about it. No bones about it. No. Red Lantern, Frank, welcome. It's good to have you. I'm glad that you found us tonight. If this is your first time here, you may not agree with us because I see your other comment here, and that's fine. Like, look, I'm not ever going to tell anybody what they have to think of anything. All I'm saying is like the people that came at me today, and RJ had to go, but the people who came at me today, this whole idea of it's woke, it's just this, and these talking points that just get snowballed and rolled together, and it's like we're just going to throw all these points together and we're not going to actually look at the content of what we're watching, when people are literally arguing with me that because she has a certain haircut, she's got to be woke, a lesbian, and because their favorite YouTubers told them that it's not good, it's not good.
You're right.
That tells me right there that you are not coming from a legitimate place of argument or opinion. Like if somebody tells me like, "Hey, I watched this, I didn't like the animation," or "I watched this and I didn't like the story," or like William, like I totally respect William. William just sat in here earlier and he talked about how like the pacing wasn't good for him. All right, that's a legitimate criticism of the show. But when you're criticizing like oh well, she gave Andra a look, so I know what that means. Like,
what?
But see, Red Lantern Frank. First of all, the first time they killed him off, there's nothing wrong with that. He sacrificed his life. They didn't kill him off. I said the same thing about Luke Skywalker in The Last Jedi. Nobody killed them. They literally sacrificed themselves and went out as the heroes they were. Now, I know people will say totally different. I know people try to make fun of it and mock it. And look, making all the little snarky comments that people want to make, that doesn't change the fact of what happened. He-Man literally sacrificed himself because he was the only one who could do it, to channel power, to absorb the power that was being released when the whole thing exploded. And he sacrificed himself. And he went into Preternia as one of the many champions. He-Man can die, folks. Like you know what I mean? And like this is not a reboot where we're just like getting something new and like we're just watching it to watch He-Man, the antics of He-Man again. This is a limited series show that is showing you a story, right? It's got a story arc, so you've got to stick with the whole thing to see where it goes. And I did notice, Red Lantern Frank, you mentioned that like you couldn't get through the first episode. Well, here's the thing: if all you watched was that he died, you're missing so much of what the content of that show is. That's literally the setup to the show. That's the setup to this, and it's you literally in the end of that, you're going to have 9 more episodes total to garner a story out of. I mean, that's like watching the first 5 minutes of A New Hope, watching that Princess Leia's Corvette gets taken over. Darth Vader comes in, all these people die, and the droids take off, and you're like, well, I stopped the movie right there because, man, all the good guys got beaten up and they got shot and killed, and that's it. It's done. It's done. I'm not going to watch anymore.
There's nothing left here for me. I don't
right. I mean, you know what I mean? Like that's just that. I don't think that's fair to any story. I think that you owe it to yourself not to anybody else. You owe it to yourself to at least watch the whole story, right? I'm not telling you got to love it. I'm not telling you it's got to be your favorite thing. But like I said, when I saw the stuff that I was seeing today, based on nothing, and just based on, you know, a haircut or what their favorite YouTuber told them or something like that. Like, I'm sorry, no, I'm not going to sit here and go, yep, that's good enough reason. Yep, you're right. It's you know, it is what it is. But you know, I mean, look, yes. And this is the point. You know, he says Prince Adam did die, but he was still in the show. He was absolutely still in the show. And he came back to help what happened. And he brought the power back to Grayskull. Right? They brought the sword back. They put the sword back together. They did that. Hey, but see here, Red Lantern Frank, that's not this show. They never hyped this show as being this. Look, I'm 45. I'll be 45 this year, man. So I understand. I don't think you came in late. So I'll just show you again, man. Like, this is my toy room. Like, I got He-Man stuff up the wazoo here. I mean, like, look, dude, this is my toy room, man. I got just about everything you can imagine. I got G.I. Joe. We grew up in the same era, man. That same stuff. But here's the thing. You know what I want to see? I want to see different stories. And I think that if I watch this whole thing from start to finish, I am going to see something that is going to make me appreciate. It's going to make me appreciate He-Man more as a character. Because I'm going to see the people that he's around appreciate him more. At the end, that's what I saw this. Yes, he passes, but this shows us, man, all those times we watched He-Man and, like, you know, He-Man just beats up on the bad guys and there's no real, like, there's no consequences, right? You know, Skeletor is just kind of a joke, you know, and he gets himself into a bubbling thing. You know, he's called the Lord of Destruction. Let's admit, those comics that the Richard showed were much more serious than anything we saw in the actual TV show. You know, you never felt like he had the upper hand on anything. And so, you know what? The thing is, this is one thing. It's not the last thing that you'll ever see of He-Man. There's literally another show coming out on Netflix that's a He-Man series that's like a reboot. But this isn't even like the early 2000s reboot where it's actually just a show that's just telling again the adventures of He-Man. This wasn't just. That's not what this was. That's not ever what this was. This was literally a complete story that was being told within that universe, and it's a complete story. And it's a story we may not have asked for that story, but the thing is you know what? We all know we can look back at the other champions like Hero, like Grayskull, all those ones that we see in Preternia, Wonder Bread He-Man, that's their Wondar, right? And the thing is that we see those stories and we hear their tales. He-Man in the future of that universe is going to be looked at that same way, right? Because somebody will eventually, I mean, we may never see it because it's not real, right? But if we were to believe that world continues, then somebody else would be champion one day and wield the sword. What I love about this is it tells a story that I think is good for us to see about how He-Man's friends carry on and how they seek to bring him back. Like they don't even know they're going to bring him back, and yet they encounter him, and so like I get it. We want more He-Man. But appreciate everything for what it is and not for what you want it to be. That's what you got there, man.
Okay, you remember as kids, we would meet up with our friends. We didn't have the whole He-Man collection, but our other friend had more toys and everything, and it was together. Together we were able to play together. I drew a 30-page or 40-page comic book when I was 15. I just wanted to kind of show.
That's cool.
I mean, this is cheesy, though. I tried to go into like the history of how Trapjaw became Trapjaw and Skeletor became Skeletor and all that. Because I love exploring new stories like what we're experiencing right now. I do have to embarrass myself and say this is the 1980s, and my He-Man had parachute pants.
Nice.
Oh my goodness.
Hammer time. It's hammer time.
Nice. Yeah, you know, that's what I'm saying. Like, look, every story. I really just don't want every story to be the same. Because I'll be honest with you, if they had just showed He-Man, just the antics of He-Man again, it wouldn't have been that interesting to me because I would have been like, look, I can get that, man. I can go watch my my DVDs of He-Man and the Masters of the Universe anytime. I still have all those stories. I can still watch those anytime. But you're gonna give me something that's set within that universe that's something like I've never seen before about, dude. Do you guys understand? We got to see what the afterlife is like in the Masters of the Universe world. How cool is that? We got to see Scareglow. We got to see, like I said, all those champions of the past. We got to see the history of Castle Grayskull.
Yeah.
Why it's Castle Grayskull, right? Why it's not just another castle. What is this true? We always heard about the secret of Castle Grayskull. We always kind of thought we knew what that was, but what is it that gives He-Man his power?
Right,
dude. Like, as a fan, I get it. Like on the outside, we're just all like, oh, I just want to see more He-Man. But man, you're gonna give me some deep dives into the lore like that?
This fills into so much of what we've already. I mean, it's filling in gaps that we've always wondered. I mean, it's amazing.
Like, I'll take that. Like, go. You know what? I'll wait for another He-Man show or whatever later down the line. But man, give me that, man. I want to learn more about that lore and find out more about it. And you know, that's what excites me is hearing different stories, hearing different tales, seeing where characters are, seeing the growth and development. Look at Orko, for God's sake, in this thing. Orko grows so much in this thing. I mean, it's just, I don't know.
Oh, you know what? One of the complaints was the artwork that we saw of Orko. They were saying that it's got to be Orko's woman, or it's got to be the female Orko, or whatever.
Yes.
No,
Yes.
It's not female Orko. Even though we do know that he has he had a girlfriend. No, that's him. He's aged. All the characters have aged. This is not the same time period. Everybody's grown up a little bit, and he still goofs up, though. He's serious, and we see his sacrifice.
Yeah, so
I'm getting so passionate.
I know, dude. The second time I watched it today, all the way through, I teared up several times because it was just it just hits you, man. And like, if you allow yourself to watch it for what it is and not for what you want it to be, and I think that's anything, and I think that's really just what I say all the time, right? Enjoy story. I love story. I love being told the story. I don't want to dictate the story. After I'm told the story, then you know what? I can determine whether I like the story or not, whether I revisit the story or not, or whether I go back to the story that I liked, right? You can always do that. But don't ever try to dictate the story. Like, or if you want to dictate the story, hey, you know what? Go to film school. Go take some writing classes, like, get into the business, man. Write your own story. And then that way somebody can hate you for your vision of whatever it is they grew up, right?
Mm-hmm. So I can have fun crapping all over your vision.
Can I just ask a question? And like, this is a legitimate question. I'm not trying to be snarky at all. But we know the current state of fandoms, right? And we know right now that everything that seems to come out, whether it's Star Wars, now He-Man, Transformers, I'm guilty with G.I. Joe, Star Trek, Harry Potter. When is the last time you heard somebody just across the board just go, yeah, this is good, or I'm going to give it a chance? It's good. Why is it that everything comes out, there's a certain side of the fandom that it's automatically going to be bad? Does anybody else feel like that? I mean, because that's how
yes.
You forgot to mention DC and Snyder Cut in your list of things, because obviously that's the biggest one, aside from Star Wars.
Yeah, everything's just bad. Everything's just going to be,
I think it's just people are like quote unquote jaded from what's been going on with what these properties been releasing recently. Like, people weren't really satisfied nowadays. People are saying DC movies are like, hit or miss, and then people weren't huge fans of Fantastic Beasts. People aren't fans of what's been going on with Transformers and all this other stuff, so they're just expecting the worst at this point. The same thing with Star Wars. Like, people aren't happy with what Star Wars is. Well, with sequel trilogy wise, I think people are starting to come around now with Mandalorian and stuff like that. But just people feel so jaded, like they're not expecting stuff to be great anymore. They're just expecting the worst. which is really sad because when something does come out and it's actually legitimately good, they're not giving it a chance.
Yeah,
Are we in a bubble though? Because I watch all the YouTube channels, but are the other people who don't watch our shows? The people who don't watch Poindexter or Post-Geek Singularity or RLM or whatever, are they as jaded as we are?
I don't know, man. I just
don't know.
I don't know. I see it sometimes spilling out into like everyday conversations, but for the most part, I think the average people, they just don't care. When I go out into the real world of like people who are just the average moviegoers, like there's all of us who are passionate about this stuff, right? But when I run into people like out in the real world and I'm like, hey, you know what? Or they ask me, can you do something? I'm like, no, I'm going to go see the new Star Wars movie. There's a new one? Really? Which one's this? Right? And I'm like, well, I'll tell them, this is going on, whatever. And they're like, oh, and I'm like, yeah, well, people hated the last one. And they're like, what? People hated it? Yeah, like bitterly. Like there's like people like online, man, like they just absolutely hated it. Like well, I thought that one was pretty good. I mean, it's not my favorite, but I still liked it, right? And it's like, you know what I mean? So it's like, I think a lot of this stuff, it does, man. We're a bunch of nerds, right? We know what we like, but and I think sometimes, unfortunately, people drag politics into it, right? And when I say politics, dragging politics into it, I'm not talking about necessarily the companies that are putting the stuff out. People are projecting their own comics, like their own thoughts and feelings onto this, like you know what I mean, like, and I've seen this too. So can I just say, Red Lantern, you got to watch this thing, man. You just got to watch it, because first of all, they didn't kill He-Man off because he's a white blonde.
They didn't kill him off, period.
Exactly.
Yeah, you just got to see it.
Yeah, you just got to, exactly. You just got to see it because they did not kill him off. There's things that happen in this show, but you got to watch the whole thing. And all we really have is the first 5 episodes, and he's already come back once. Right. So like I'm just being honest with you. Right. And so and it had absolutely nothing to do with his hair or his skin color, because there's plenty of white characters in this show. There's plenty of this wasn't some woke, diverse thing that it was like, I felt like they were trying to fill quotas for anything. I mean, there's just characters in the show. And so, I would tell you, man, like the comment that's why they killed him. No. That's just
not even remotely true.
Yeah, it's just not even remotely a thing, Yeah, I don't know. But anyways, it's been a great conversation tonight. I always love having these conversations, and all I got to tell you is, guys, stay tuned. Now, I don't know when the next 5 are dropping, but I can't wait. I want to see it.
I called Netflix yesterday. They don't have an actual date. I literally called them and talked to them. They don't have a date yet.
Mm.
The reason why I bring that up is because the last Netflix show, animated show that I was really into was Disenchantment or just Disenchanted, and they did release it a year later. I do not think that it's going to take that long for He-Man, because the Mattel license is up in a year and a half. They're not going to wait a year just to put this out, because they want to do more stuff. So
yeah.
I think we're going to see it really soon.
Awesome. Well, I can't wait. In the meantime, I'm going to go get me some more action figures. I already got.
Speaking of which, I just put in my order for the Calvin McFarlane Black Suit Superman.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Nice. Yes. But yeah. So hey, you know what? Look for, actually, I got 3 new toy reviews that'll be coming out, which is Batman, the McFarlane Batman, the McFarlane Cyborg, and the McFarlane Aquaman. So I'm going to get those put up here in the next day or so. So there you go. And thank you guys. Thank you guys for coming in here. Richard, you want to tell everybody where they can find you, sir? And you got a final word?
Yes, sir. Thank you. Regarding just me, you can check out, if you're on Facebook, I've got a He-Man Masters of the Universe Facebook page where I show off my original art, as well as the various documentaries, that I'm coming across, all kinds of like my sketchbooks, all of this. I've got a bunch of miniatures that I'm going to be painting, as well as I'll be putting links to like this show right here on there. And there's another channel just got started, helping them out, Phantasmagorium, and we did the first of 3 on this He-Man Masters of the Universe Revelations. We did the first of 3 today. It was kind of a brief history, kind of like what we did just now. Then we're going to do another one on Monday, and then on Tuesday we're going to do the last episode review, and then kind of compile all of the social media, all of the interviews, all of the, or I mean, all the goods and the bads of the internet, the reviews of the show. We're gonna talk about that, and I'll also have a lot of my stuff scanned in, so they'll be literally showing some of my new paintings, because I want to do Hordak and a couple others over the weekend. So that's
Cool.
where you can find me.
Cool.
The Richard 13 on any media. The Richard 13 on Twitter and Facebook.
Nice. Brian, why don't you tell
Yeah.
everybody where they can find you, sir?
Well, you can find me in most places at Brian Master of None on Twitter, Master of None 67, and good content to be coming this way. Just kind of waiting for some Star Trek to come down the pipe. Other than that, good times. I really need to go to bed, so have a good night, guys.
All right, man. And DL, where can people find you, sir?
Well, you can find me on the YouTubes. My YouTube channel is DL Vince. I talk about movies, shows, and everything in the nerd and geek culture. As I said earlier, I'm reviewing all the G.I. Joe movies, including Snake Eyes, if you guys want to check that out. Then I also do Disney reviews with my girlfriend. It's going to be more of that coming really, really soon. And then we're going to get back into Marvel really soon, because I haven't talked about Black Widow or Loki and stuff like that. So that'll be coming. And then the Suicide Squad, when that comes out, I'm going to do a review for that. So a lot to be coming on my channel. So if you guys want to check out my takes on stuff, go ahead and check out my channel.
Heck yeah. Hey, did you give the name of that Facebook page?
My Facebook page?
Well, the one that you were talking about, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's Masters of the Universe, the Richards Art Revelation, I think is what it's called. It's literally Masters of the Universe. Okay, as I'm looking for this, I want to send out a shout out to Monkey Jeebus. I want to wish him a really good night, and say that wish all works out. Prayers.
What's going on with Monkey Jeebus? Did I miss something?
He's got an issue. Well, he said in chat his mom died.
Oh man. Hey man, I'm really sorry to hear that, man. Look, we have a lot of fun here. We get in arguments. If you go back and you missed the first part of this episode, you're going to see me coming in pretty hot and heavy, because I love this thing, and I literally got into a small Twitter war with somebody before I came in, and we kind of had fun poking fun at that. But look, when it comes down to it, look, I really care about the people who watch this. Like YouTube is not real life. Real life is real life. Right. And I try to remind people of this. Anytime I get a hater that comes to me, is like, oh, you're doing this and that for clout or this or that or whatever. No, man, look, I got a wife and 3 kids, and I got family that I love, and that's real life, And so, hey, man, Monkey Jeebus, my heart goes out to you. I lost my mom a few years ago, and that's rough. And so, yeah, man, our prayers are with you, and I hope for peace for you. And for comfort, in your time of mourning, and just know that it's okay to mourn. You have to go through those stages. You absolutely have to go through those stages, and I think that's for anybody. Everybody has to realize that there's no shame in that, and there's no issue in that, of going through the stages of grief, and if you lose somebody or whatever you're going through. So, at the end of the day, when you're going through something like that, whether or not the He-Man show has enough He-Man in it for you really isn't the biggest thing on your mind right then, So, yeah. So hey, man, peace to you, sir. And I hope, like Richard said, I hope it all works out for you and your family. Hey, thanks to everybody who's here tonight. You can of course find us on social media, all the various places and the things. And you know what? We like to have fun here at the lounge. We get into some heated debates because we're passionate. We're passionate about what we love. But we're on all the social medias. You can find us all there. If you go to one of our social medias and you try to convince me that I'm wrong, well, we'll get into a conversation, and you probably won't convince me that I'm wrong because it's Twitter. And you're never going to convince anybody that they're wrong, they're wrong about anything on Twitter, Facebook, or anything else, because that's social media, and that's not how that works. But like I always say, don't let anybody tell you that your fandom doesn't matter, and don't tell anybody that their fandom doesn't matter. But seek to have conversations, and seek to have good conversations. Get into great discussions about stuff, and but for the most important thing, remember to respect everybody. At the end of the day, you may totally disagree with my takes. I may totally disagree with your takes. We may not even respect each other's opinions about He-Man, Star Wars, G.I. Joe, whatever. But let's respect each other as human beings. All right? Because that's what really matters at the end of the day. All right? So that being said, I appreciate you all. And I look forward to seeing you guys again here in the Poindexter Lounge. Remember, you're always welcome. Make sure as you leave tonight to give this video a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button because we would love to have you here as part of our crew. I have just this last thing to say to you all.
I hate the word content. When people say they're putting out content, it means they're putting out garbage filler material because they have nothing to say. With that being said, I have now completed my content for the day.
Thank you all. Stay nerdy. We'll see you guys next time.
Stay nerdy.
And I have the power because I control the buttons. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.